No damn research, they rework and copy on cocks that came first. Ninth inning, second string, and they acting like they know hitters. Assholes throwing bullshit and runs to the shitter. All this nonsense on my conscience, it's hard to sleep at night. Who the fuck is in my window with this time of the night? These parasites, these leeches, with all their secret meetings, teaching all you fucking cretins about baby-eating heathens. Believing in reasons with no meaning is bullshit. Will Bird motherfuckers out here busting the grifts. Here we go, I think I started some shit. Piss them off, it's about to get lit. Get the place in the bets, you know that stage is set. You better buckle up, cause you ain't seen none yet. Here we go, I think I started some shit. Piss them off, it's about to get lit. Get the place in the bets, you know that stage is set. You better buckle up, cause you ain't seen none yet.
You don't have those guts, cause you're a pussy. You're a pussy wearing aviator glasses in your mother's basement.
All right, guys, it's coming back up on YouTube on a different channel. I think it's been mass reported because it's got so many views and people are mad because they think it's real. You know, they think it's coming and they mass reported it. Facebook should be good. YouTube's coming online right now, and then we'll go from there. I apologize.
Call out the people on this planet by name and tell them exactly who they are and tell them the rest of the world.
Thank you for sticking with me, even though I kind of ignored you guys. I honestly just forgot that I even had the Facebook channel still on.
I think I started some shit. Piss them off, it's about to get lit. Place in the bets, you know that stage is set. You better buckle up, cause you ain't seen none yet. Here we go, I think I started.
It's here you go. I'll just put the link in here. If you want to watch it on YouTube, there it is. That's a direct link. It's called CBC Media. It's our old backup channel. We haven't had to use it in forever. But there it is, guys.
Wit and a sixth sense for the stupid shit. Where my true believer?
I'll drop the link a couple times and we'll start again here.
All these false fucking prophets who profit off of gossip, worshiping.
It was over the Nasara Gassara video saying that I was inciting violence. Yes. Tony's helping me out with how to word the appeal, and then I'll submit it, and then we'll see how it works. But I'm legit not inciting violence. Like, the worst thing I said was, if you don't believe me, it's confirmed. Charlie Ward confirmed it. The Frog News confirmed it. And then the only other thing I said is I read in chat. My aunt said it's real. That's all, just stupid stuff. None of that was inciting violence.
Cause you ain't seen none yet. Here we go, I think I started some shit.
All right, I'm going to drop the link a couple more times and we'll get back started. If you want to watch on YouTube, you're fine. If you want to watch on Facebook, you're fine. Everybody's fine no matter where you're at, where you're watching at. But let me piss right quick and then we'll start, okay?
I found some of his meat rockets. I strapped them to my shoes and then I flew through the roof. I found myself in orbit strapped to an F-16. High on amphetamine with Trump in between. Put on a light coat of baby oil and saluted the troops. He tapped me on the shoulder and said, "This is gonna be it." Whoa, wait. Stop. What? I'll get my files. Wait, what are you doing? Stop. Hold on. Fucking stop. Dude, come on. Seriously. My mom's an alcoholic. Oh, give me oh my God. Damn it. Here we go, I think I started some shit. Piss them off, it's about to get lit. Get the place in the bets, you know that stage is set. You better buckle up, cause you ain't seen none yet. Here we go, I think I started some shit. Piss them off, it's about to get lit. Get the place in the bets, you know that stage is set. You better.
I forgot. Here we go, we can get started. I forgot that I was still live on Facebook, guys, and I was sitting here typing and bitching and complaining, having a conversation with Mariah, telling her what happened and blah, blah, blah. And I looked back over and I saw in chat, someone said, do you guys hear Doug talking? Because I was playing a Doug video in the background while I was typing, trying to see if he was talking about me. Make sure you subscribe to this channel. This is just a backup channel. We haven't used it in a long time. We haven't had to, man. Honestly, if they were going to strike any channel that or any video, that's not the one. I didn't say anything bad in that video. I actually rubbed 2 out, so it was an even number. The delta of that, Jason Q says, cancels each other out, so I should be good. Thank you for sticking around or coming back or whatever. Sorry about that. Let's go ahead and get back started. I want to finish this video before we go on to Frog News or whatever. I want to finish this one just to let you guys know about the build and stuff. It's halfway over already, so let's hop back into it.
Contraction will create other stresses in the building, but none of those stresses would ever result in creaking of the building. So if that's whether that's true or not, and whether his mother actually said that or not is of course up to debate. But that's just an interesting point to note that that he actually said that on the news last night. And of course, most people don't think much of these things that they hear. But I've been dealing with this long enough and dealing with the public long enough that live in these buildings to know that a lot of times what they say and what they hear and what they may not know what causes it, but it matters.
So that he was talking about the old lady that said that the building was creaking at night, which I told you a concrete building shouldn't. Your house is fine creaking. Don't freak out. That happens. Wood construction, blah blah blah. A concrete building shouldn't be creaking like that at night, or during the day or anytime. It's from the heat exchange, but still, it shouldn't be creaking like that. Yeah, if you're just joining us, the Nassauras Gassara video, someone mass reported it, and YouTube claims they took it down because I was inciting violence. There was literally no call to violence. I didn't even tell you guys to go to like Doug's channel or go check on it or go look at their channel. I kept it all on my channel. I didn't say anything about anybody else except that they confirmed it. That was the only thing I said. So I just don't think it happened.
Interesting is here's an image. Let's see. Okay, now here's some more 2021 imagery.
It's amazing that just Google Street View got this. You know what I'm saying? Like I was saying earlier, imagine if you went around and really nitpicked this building. You went through every spot like the inspector did. That's probably why it was $9.1 million in repairs. This is just Street View got all this, which is crazy. That's a lot of damage for just a car driving down the road to find it.
And you can see the spallings you can see that the spalling is all the way up at the roof there. You got spalling here. You got spalling here. The interesting thing about this image, and the reason why I wanted to bring this image up is because if you look at these locations, there's a bunch more on here. I'm not going to circle them. If you look at these locations on the right, the groupings are pretty tight together. And with conventional reinforced concrete, you don't find that the rebar is necessarily 6 inches apart. Maybe for a cantilevered slab, it would be. But because we know this building is a post-tension cabled building, it's reasonable to conclude that some of these groupings of the spalls are actually post-tension anchor points. And here's like a little double as well. A lot of times these cables are run in doubles or triples, and then the anchor points are very close to each other at the end of the slab. Let's see, this is another 2021 image. It's that same building side, but just sort of taken at a different angle. You can see those groupings and that spall on the ceiling of the underneath the roof here. You can see better some imagery over here. But anyway, just another angle of that same building. So yeah, this building had, quite literally, it had concrete falling off of the building in January of 2021. That's, at this point with the imagery,
YouTube can't claim to be unbiased and like take my video down, but leave like theirs up where they got a phone call that Nassauras Gassara. I was just quoting their video.
Assuming Google didn't misdate their imagery, that's pretty much an undisputed fact at this point.
It says 2 weeks, but I'm going to appeal it for sure. There's no call to violence in there.
This image here,
he goes over a lot of the video, a lot of the pictures. You can see all the spalling.
As it is now.
Here's the roof view.
Determine the orientation of the primary post-tension cables. So this is the portion of the building that collapsed. I'll just kind of highlight it here. And
it actually collapses in stages, though. It doesn't collapse all at once. So what happens is this front portion collapses right here. Then this portion collapses, brought down by that portion. And then this whole section over here collapses. So it's this front awning portion, then this is brought down by that. Actually, when this is almost all the way on the ground, you can still see this in the horizon. Then once this falls, this is freestanding. There's nothing holding that up.
The length of the building in this direction. And that's important because you'll notice that the midspan of the cables, assuming there isn't any anchor midpoint anchors, which sometimes they do, but if you assume that there is no midpoint anchors, this portion of the building right here is basically midspan of the PT cables. And that's going to be important later when I show you the video. We're going to analyze that video a little closer of the collapse. In that video, you'll note, and you'll see it, that this section here, okay, was the first area to collapse. And not only was the middle of the building the first area to collapse, but this area collapsed before the backside. Okay, that was number 2, and then this portion of the building was number 3. So the very front,
Yeah, just like he said right there. 1, 2, and then the side is 3.
facade of this section was the first thing to collapse in that video. And just kind of looking at an overpoint. So what this means is that for me, forensically, the structural engineers really need to be looking at because everything else is a domino effect. So what you really want to know when you're studying.
So sort of hippie chicken, like everybody in there that owns a condo owns each condo, right? It's not like they're renters. It's not like an apartment building. So they have a board of directors. Now, a lot of the people that are on the board, probably all of the people that are on the board are probably owners as well. And they got an inspection, as they were required to do. It said that they needed repairs. They got a repair quote. I think it was $9.1 million. That went to the board, and they were suggested whatever to do the repairs for $9.1 million. Now, they could either finance that two ways. They could go to each owner, and I figured it up by unit. Each unit would owe like 60-some thousand.
It was crazy to suspend your YouTube account, WTF.
That's thank you for that, Eileen. Thank you very much. I appreciate it. Yeah, that's pretty crazy that their videos are still up with Nasara Gassara, but not mine. Come on now. But they could either go to each unit and say, I figured it up, it was like $60,000 to $70,000, somewhere around there, or they could go to the bank, get a loan for it over 10 or 20 years, and tell everybody for the next however long the bank loan is, 10 years, that it's going to go up $60 a month or whatever. And then from that, I'll add some odds as we go. And then from that, they would have to pay it. You either have to pay it or you have to move out. It's kind of like being part of a homeowners association. If a homeowners association hires a new landscaper and it goes up $20 a month, you either pay it or you move. Like they kind of control it. That's part of living in that building. So the board would have been responsible for making the decision, which they got to make whatever's legal and safe and right. They have a fiduciary what is it called? Requirement, I guess. It's called something else. But they have to do what's safe. They have to do what's healthy. They have to do what's best for the building and protect everybody's investment. And they would have had to pass that along. Those two things. So what's weird, and he points this out. I got this from him. I didn't get this on my own, but they hadn't got a loan. And they hadn't tried to get a loan yet already. And they hadn't secured a loan. And they hadn't told everybody they need $60,000. They hadn't scheduled the contractor. Now, he says in this area of Florida that it's like 2 years from the time you say, okay, almost 2 years from the time you say, okay, let's do it, till they start. You give them the money, and then they start. So they hadn't scheduled it last year when they were supposed to. They hadn't scheduled it this year. So they weren't even planning on making these repairs until possibly 2022 sometime. Late 2022 is the earliest that if they just said, okay, let's do it today and agreed to it the day before the building fell, it would have been late 2022. Maybe it's like a year and a half or a year or whatever before they would have got to it. So it seems like the question now is they knew they needed the repairs. And they hadn't done them yet. So, did the board of directors just say, fuck it, we're not doing it? Or they're definitely responsible to some level. But did the repairing engineer say, hey, we can wait 2 or 3 years? Did the inspector say, hey, we can wait 2 or 3 years? Or did everybody say, you need to do it now, you need to do it now, and the board just said, nah, we'll do it in 3 years? You know what I'm saying? Who made that decision and on whose recommendation? That'll be who's responsible for it. This town that it's in it's not a small town, but it's not a huge town either. They don't have inspectors of this scale. So the person who inspected it was a private contractor, and he signed on as the inspector for the city, basically. So like the way they do it is the city doesn't have inspectors that come out to this level of style of building, like a multi-unit concrete complex. So he signs on as the special inspector for the city, does his inspection, and he's got his name on it. He signs off on it, and he made an inspection and a recommendation. But since it was recently inspected and recent recommendation, there's probably 10,000 photos of this building, every piece of damage, if he's covering his ass, they've got it, and it's going to come out in court, I'm sure.
Causality is where did it start? And so the structural engineers on site hopefully are going to be focusing a lot of their attention into this front area right here.
Yeah, the numbers are way down, guys.
Possibly actually right.
That's all right. It's part of it.
So this whole front area is going to be location number 1. This back part of that building is location number 3. So this is the order in which they collapsed. And then this wing fell, that was the third one. And you'll see that the video that we're going to watch is looking at the building from this direction, right? So I'm going to go to that video. We're going to watch that. We're going to do that frame by frame because everybody's seen this 100 times. All right, so here's the building. Here's that front facade I was talking about right here. And then this that you can see here is part number 3 that collapses. It's the third part to collapse. And the first part to collapse is this front facade. So if we go frame by frame, okay, you can see it's very, I'm going to kind of go back and forth, but you can see that the front facade is dropping. But look at this horizon line here on the back of that midsection of the building. It stays put. And if you look, it actually starts coming now, but not until the front facade is already down here. So it starts trailing behind. Watch that again. So here it is right
See how slow, see how the front piece comes down? You can still see that back in the horizon almost the whole time.
The back starts falling.
That's halfway down already, and you can still see it up there.
I'm referring to this location here. So the first location starts falling first, then this location starts trailing behind, and then after a while, this section falls, and we'll see that in the video. So the first section keeps falling, second section starts collapsing. Okay, and you can even still see that portions of that back section are still up. The very back facade wall on the opposite side of the building is still up. Then it collapses. Okay, so it trails the first one. And then the third one, obviously.
People have this belief that a building can't fall and basically in its own footprint. It absolutely can. Especially when it's a structural damage from the center, which is what seems like what happened. Yeah, I got to, Christopher. I was kind of lazy last week. I got to get you this week. But it certainly can, especially if the cable breaks and it starts collapsing from the inside. Also, people say that, oh, look how much dust there is. It was reduced to rubble. That's got to be a laser. No, when buildings collapse, there's a shit ton of dust. When there's any type of disaster like this, there's a shit ton of dust. Literally, shit is beat into dust as it collapses, and the dust goes everywhere. It has nothing to do with a laser or rods of God or anything else.
As well. So I don't want to sit here and opine on that video too much, but I just wanted to point out that the structural engineers really ought to be looking in this very vicinity.
This is another reason that I know we talk about being involved in local politics or whatever. You got to keep an eye on your local homeowners association, your local condo board, your local landscapers. I mean, there can be these people never thought that, oh, the board of directors decided to postpone. I'm just saying this. I don't know this to be true, but imagine just saying, oh, we were supposed to have some maintenance done. The board of directors postponed it to next year, and then never waking up again. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, I'm on. I had to go to a backup channel. I got taken down. There's the YouTube link.
And again, talking about the post-tension cables and talking about the level of corrosion that we saw on those PT ends, on those anchor points on the outside of the building.
And to be fair, the board didn't do it maliciously, right? They probably thought there's no chance that the building's going to collapse. This is like little bitty shit we can do later. You know, I'm sure. Or else most of the people on the board probably live in this building, if not all of them. They didn't think this would happen either. It's just simple mistakes people make, not taking stuff serious enough. It's the same thing when you hear about. I've been on this really weird kick where I've been listening to airplane crashes and like accident reports as told by a pilot. Like a pilot goes through, reviews accident reports, reviews how it happened and actually the findings, like what went wrong. I listened to one the other day, like there was an issue with a window that seemed like it was like fogging up, and they found out that some of the bolts are missing on it, so they added some bolts, but they were out of the right bolts. They only had 3 of the right bolts, so they went to the storeroom and got some backup bolts that were supposed to be the same, but they weren't. They were like just barely a little bit off, weren't long enough. And they put those bolts on. Anyways, the plane gets up in the air and the window gets sucked out and it sucks the captain out. And the only thing holding him in is the bend of his knee. It breaks his leg across the cavity or the place where the window went, where the window's seated. It breaks his leg across that and it literally holds him in. He's outside And luckily, he's in a bubble of oxygen where he can breathe. The worst part of it was his broken leg, and he had frostbite because they were like at 20,000 feet when it sucked him out the window. He survived, but it was all because a bolt was like 1.8 millimeters too short, and no one checked it. It's little bitty mistakes.
Building, we saw. Now we didn't get any. There's no Google imagery of this side. Okay, over here. But we did have Google imagery, and a lot of those falls that I was finding were over here on this side of the building. Okay, because most of that imagery was from Call.
That's where he was seeing. That's where the street view was from.
Imagery. So we have a lot of.
So, what's interesting? What he's saying is interesting. Is if we took this building and cut it in half, the center would be right here somewhere. No. So if there's no midpoint anchors, let's say cable runs from here to all the way across to here. The weakest part would be where the cable broke and it was the furthest away from an exterior wall. So that is the first part that fell. So if that's the problem, if the cables were broken and like a couple of them broke, then a couple more broke, then a couple more of them broke, then a couple more of them broke, the weakest point of the building would be here. And that's the very first part of the building we see fall.
Falls on presumably the PT cable ends on this side of the building. Those cables run from here to here. And
a lot of people are calling out the local city and saying, "Oh, they're going to be screwed." The local city doesn't have shit on this. The building inspector was literally called. You know what I'm saying? He signed on as a special building inspector for the city. They don't do stuff like this. So there's two private companies. There's the inspector, and then there's the contractor who made the recommendation, and there's the board. Those are the three people that we're probably going to see held liable to some extent. How much for each one? Who knows? Was the building built in 2 phases? I think I heard that, and it looks like it right here. You can see a clean break between 2 different separate buildings. This wall's even doubled up right here. It looks like it that way, and I did hear that, I thought, but I'm not positive.
Mid-span of those cables is literally the facade that fell first. So I think this is going to be, I think the post-tension cables is going to be is going to play a very significant role. And I think corrosion and lack of maintenance is also going to play, unfortunately, is going to play a very significant role in this as well. Let me get back to my notes here. So that's all I really wanted to mention today is I kind of wanted to disabuse some people of some of these notions that the building was blown up or that global warming caused this. The reality is that it's beginning to look like, especially from that Google imagery, that this is a building that may have, unfortunately...
I don't know, Gordon. I haven't heard that.
Fashion. It'll be really interesting to see what the engineer that...
There was work going on the roof that put extra load on the roof. They had issues with settling. They had spalding that needed to be repaired, and rust and corrosion to the tension cables. They had reported an issue with the pull before, but I don't know about right before it happened. All these things kind of added up to where it looked like, looking back on it now, you can say, okay, it looks like there's going to be a disaster here. But they got it in such small doses and kept kicking it down the road, kind of, that I think they just thought it would be, it'll hold, it'll be 30 years before something bad happens. We can wait 2 or 3 to get this work done.
I believe the engineer that was supposed to do the 40-year study has already done the site work, because one of the news outlets last night said that they talked to them, or that they had talked to somebody adjacent to them or something like that, but that they had known that my program is kind of acting up.
Yeah, that is true. So yes, they had an engineer study come through and do their part, and the board knew that there was major structural issues, but the people inside the building kept saying there was nothing wrong with it. But the board knew, and if they'd have been going to these board meetings, they would have known, but they claimed that they didn't. There was nothing wrong with it.
Strangely, for some reason. I don't know why that is, but that they had maybe talked to the engineer that had done the 40-year study or something like that, or they were under the impression that the study had physically been done, that the site work had been done, but that the report hadn't been generated, but that they said that, well, we didn't suspect anything. We didn't suspect anything that would be that could cause imminent failure of the building or collapse. So that'll be really interesting from a forensic records standpoint to see what they actually say when they do finally come out and make a statement about this. And it'll be also interesting to see what the engineers that the government has brought in will be saying about this. But
There's also a big issue. People are freaking out because there is an Israeli team there. Frog News brought this up. There's an Israeli team there helping in the damage and the rubble. They've just got one of the best rescue teams in the world. They volunteered it and sent it over and for free. You know, that's what they do. The Israeli team is actually kind of unique. All of their rescuers are trained, educated, certified engineers. Every person from the Israeli team that's literally out there moving chunks of concrete are structural engineers. They just got one of the best teams in the world. I don't think there's anything crazy about that. Clearly, we have a relationship with Israel that they help us, we help them. And they sent their people over. I don't think there's anything crazy. We got shut down on YouTube. They said that my Gassara Nasara video was inciting violence. I don't know why, but we're working on it.
For the most part, I just wanted to bring that up to you. I wanted to say that the next video I'll be doing, I don't know, it might be a couple days. But what I'm going to start doing is looking up permits for when the building was restored last. When
if you want to follow this guy, his name is Building Integrity. Building Integrity, and his profile picture is just BI. He's had videos on it since then. This was the most all-encompassing one that I've found so far, but he's done updates to this, so you can check it out and see what it is. Yeah, you can check it out. But yeah, it's he does pretty good work. But we'll go back to Jaco and see what he's saying about it. He's already said that it was a controlled demolition, that he's a demolition expert. He knows what it looks like, that he knows that was it. He's going to bounce back and forth between 9/11 and the Florida building over and over again. And, of course, this video's still up on YouTube.
So I don't know if they went in there and really got all the evidence that they needed. Maybe they stopped out some demolition that was probably going to happen in the other buildings, and then photographed or collated all the information, saw where all the demolition charges may have been in the other buildings. I don't know. So there's been other people that I've had on that I've had shows with that said they felt that it would have been far more devastation if some particular white hats hadn't gotten involved. So it sounds like to me, when I look at, when we look at the Twin Towers, how they were, it was a controlled demolition bringing those buildings down, because skyscrapers have never fallen in their footprint at free fall speed from fires ever. And most, if not any, in history have ever fallen from burning ever. So that's interesting. And we can look throughout time and see lots of buildings that have burned and their skeletons are still there. They don't fall. So everything burns, but basically the steel stays standing. So right. What happened with the thing in Florida, and why is that? Why are they doing that? So they're already starting to condemn other buildings around that time frame. So these buildings were built in, I believe, 1981. So still relatively young. They have buildings with the same building technique that are over 100 years old in Florida. So most of the buildings actually are built with the same building type of foundation and structure and so forth. So what is going on? It's obviously something the deep state is doing. So we look at, things that have happened more recently where they basically shut down the world. They start with a situation and they blow it up into something it's not. And then they start to really come in and take over and cause a situation where there's really no situation. So it's the same process. So there's a Democratic mayor in Surfside, California. There's a Democratic, I say Democratic, but actually a rhino, what we call a Republican in name only, in Miami. So both of them have started to allow and are pushing for buildings to be condemned. And then everyone has to move out of those buildings once they come in and condemn them. So I don't know what rationally, there's no reason for this. It's never happened before like this anywhere. And it's going to be interesting to watch this unfold. What do they have up their sleeve on this one, and how much are they going to get away with? So they're letting this run. I don't know why, but we're going to see maybe some.
Thank you very much.
Another type scenario where they did with the other the lockdown of the world. Are they going to try and do, something similar with these building condemnations? I don't know. It's interesting to watch this.
Absolutely. So what do you think it is that the deep state are trying to hide or destroy by destroying these buildings?
I'm not sure they're trying to hide anything. At one time I was like, we're kind of reaching for, what exactly, they could be doing with this. I had some very, very short people I did a show with about, I think it was like a 2-hour show where we talked about this in detail. And some of the announcers and the show hosts were talking about how this is possibly a way that they bring federal control into Florida, because Florida is actually a thorn in their side, because Florida has uprooted their controls, for this last event that's happened throughout the states where you wear masks and stuff like that. So there's a similarity in this, in that Joe Biden met, I guess, the day before this building collapse with that particular mayor that's in Surfside, and now Biden is going to come down and visit. Biden rarely goes anywhere, but he's going to come down to this area. That's very interesting, isn't it? So what is all that about? And one of the show hosts was speculating that perhaps they're going to try and bring, say because they're already starting to condemn buildings and move people out of these buildings. So they're going to try and come in and say, you guys have really been screwing this place up. We're going to come in and lock this place down. So that's how they get their footprint into a state that's really been a thorn in their side. That's one of the speculations. It seems logical. If we start to expose it like we are right now, maybe it's a little bit harder for them to come in and do that. So that's one of the reasons why we have these conversations. So excellent question.
So this kind of operation that the deep state are trying to infiltrate is one of those methods they use where they create a problem, then a solution, so they can get their way. Is that what you're saying?
Absolutely. And I think this is very indicative of how they operate. And we're starting to see their patterns, in a lot of different areas. So we can recognize a pattern before it starts to happen. Just like we talked about they were going to do a space invasion, alien invasion, and everyone was talking about it. I've been talking about it for years. It really takes the air out of, their ability to blow this up and make it into a very massive event where they can, have one of those events like we're talking about. They create a problem and then they come in with a solution. Problem, reaction, solution. So that's the way they operate. They want to, create fear and pandemonium, cause problems. So they're moving people out of condominiums now, and that have the same similar. One of them I think had built in 1970s or something, and they had some structural problems, and these structural problems can be fixed very easily. All right, and people are coming forward and saying things that they were given a leeway in this particular building that collapsed, the Champlain building, condo buildings that collapsed. Now, buildings, all of them falling in their footprint and leaving hardly anything left. They're so perfectly pancaked that people doing trying to find survivors or trying to find bodies at this point are having a very, very hard time, because it's stacked so tightly together. It's very reminiscent of what happened on 9/11, where you have 103 stories falling into its footprint, and there's really no rubble left, hardly any at all. And that was through directed energy weapons, which basically vaporized a lot of that. Now, vaporization happens to a certain extent. You see dust that came from the building that they, put a lot of focus on just recently, bringing down the other buildings that were left standing from the Champlain Tower.
Sorry, I'm back. I was answering an email right quick.
You saw a lot of dust.
Of course, he's going to say it's a direct energy weapon, that it was taken down by that. Come on, guys.
When that
over what? We've already proved that the claim that McAfee's son had an office there and that tweet was fake. He doesn't have a son named whatever. That was actually an ESPN sportscaster who doesn't even live in that building. That's the name, though. That's all. Why? He's claiming so they can get their footprint in there. Oh, they're going to start taking over buildings and maybe form a new agency. Come on now. Come on.
That one camera that seemed to be.
If you have a Twitter account, I just put a tweet out. Please go retweet it. I am at Cold Beer Confess on Twitter. Fuck YouTube. This isn't right. This shit isn't right. They fucking strike my shit down. And it's literally a satire piece on a video, and the original video is up. I am at Cold Beer Confess. Here, I'll just copy link to the tweet. Here's the if you have a Twitter account, please retweet this. That's it right there.
Be magically pointed in the just perfect direction, just like those films that caught planes that disappeared in the buildings and blew up on the other side of that disappearance of CGI. There's similar things that I've seen already as far as like directed energy weapons. There's like burning that was happening after the fact, smoldering. This is indications of directed energy weapons. Now, whether we get more of that or whether they're going to cover it up because they've learned their lesson, they know how to hide this stuff a little bit better, and their technology is a little bit more advanced, so there's not as much indications left. That remains to be seen. So as we move forward, maybe some reveals start to happen where they start to say,
I swear it's becoming too hard or too much for it to be a coincidence that they're protecting these people. Scott McKay just now finally went down to where he can't get a channel back up, but look how many channels he's had. Frog News is not struck down. Look at the shit they're spreading. I don't mass report. I don't encourage mass reporting or reporting of videos, but they just randomly find mine and take it down. But they don't randomly find those assholes. It was literally a video on their video, a satire piece, but they took down the satire and left the original video up. I got you. That makes perfect sense. Come on now.
Yeah, this is not normal. And then here they had, dozens of buildings they've evacuated in people's lives or, mishandled. And then they come out with, this is all BS. And they come out with the experts then. That would have more of an impact if they do it now, right?
So when we speak about alien invasion,
Nicholas has no idea what he's talking.
Or the end times, do you think that the deep state would use a technology called Project Blue Beam? And could you please also explain to the viewers what?
Oh, it's got to be Project Blue Beam now. Of course, that makes sense.
So that Project Blue Beam, basically they can direct a lot of I think very much like what they did with the CGI that they did with the buildings, planes crashing into the buildings. So Project Blue Beam would be, they've already shown it in many cases where they can project images into the sky and they're not real. So this is some of the technology that they have. They can fake. It looks completely real. And then they would have on the ground, of course, they would have, actors and actresses and whatever that would come out in alien costumes. And
so Project Blue Beam is that they can use holograms or portray a projection, blah, blah, blah. And then, like he's saying, they have actors or actresses or whatever play their part. And they try to convince people of like aliens or the rapture or something that they use a mass hologram for.
Start blasting people with ray guns or whatever. I don't know. And then.
Yeah, he claims that the airplanes were fake. There were no airplanes.
Kind of like what we've seen in the movies. They create some kind of event like that. So they have, as we already know, they have super advanced technologies where the rod of God basically comes in and can super hammer like a mountain. I've seen some of that technology.
But here's the problem.
I believe it was used.
Here's the problem with your there were no airplanes theory. The U.S. can remotely operate airliners. Like, why risk millions of New Yorkers seeing no airplanes when they could just fly an airplane into the building? Like, they could even do it remote control if they want to. Just drive that sumbitch right into the building. If they're going to bring it down anyways. Why risk it? Why not just put an airplane there? There's too much footage. I know there's a clip that just shows a fireball and no airplane. That's from the backside of the building. The building's literally blocking the plane. If you map that out to the city block, you can get the angles, you can see it.
And they basically hammered some of the underground facilities that they had there, and actually showed some of that. So that technology is out there. I think it's in the good hands. I don't think the bad guys have that, but maybe they do. But if they did, then they would definitely use some of that technology to just massively crush a building. Who knows? Maybe that was used.
By the way, they get later on in this interview, I'm probably going to skip ahead a little bit, but they start talking about the nuclear football. And this whole time they've thought Trump still has the briefcase, the nuclear briefcase to launch the missiles. And now they're panicking that Joe Biden might have it. Of course he does.
Just recently. So it's hard to say.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Even if they planted explosives on every floor, there was nobody in there. If you want to claim whatever you want to claim about the buildings falling, cool. They could still fly planes into it remotely if they wanted to. You know what I'm saying? Like, even if the whole thing was a setup, you don't risk not putting a 747 in the air that people can see. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's stupid.
What exactly is going on with all this? And Project Bluebeam, they've been talking about that for many, many, many years, and how that's going to be basically a fake alien invasion. And they would do that probably in many areas of the world. Very, very similar to all the movies that they've released. So a lot of these movies, as we know, are
Patriot Mama. You must be talking about a clone Joe Biden with a clone briefcase on a clone camera. That's all I know.
By the CIA. So the ones that are funded by the CIA, some of these massive, alien invasion movies, that's very, very, very interesting to me when you find out who the real, contributors and people with the money. If you can backtrack it. Of course, the CIA has many front agencies, but when we discover a front agency that's funded by the CIA, and then when that information finally comes forward, we start to see they've been in this game for a long time, setting up the scenario. It's already been, orchestrated to be an event. And when that event is, comes through, would be a point where, humanity is at its most vulnerable. And when might that be? Like, this would be a perfect time right now, because a lot of people are consciously captured. And they've taken on this other event that they had planned, and it's been utilized all over the world. So it's not much of a stretch, even though a lot of us were awake to that and are awakening to that they would see there's a certain level of awakening that's happening that they can't allow happen. So they have to come out with all guns blazing and do something major. I don't think they have that capability anymore. I think they've been pretty much shut down, and it's just a point of allowing more people to catch up conscious wise, to all the manipulations and things that they've been doing. Now, while I saw that Trump was like, speaking like he's still in charge, and the people that were before him, Don Jr. and other people that came on, they were talking like Trump was still in charge. And I was like, wow, they're really letting it out here now. So I'm like that with Project Bluebeam, with the condos collapsing. It's very similar to a 9/11 event where they gained massive amounts of control from 9/11. They pretty much shut down the world at 9/11, if you guys remember. And those that are old enough to remember. And then they also came out with a lot of controls as far as like here in the US, they came out with an agency that really started to lock down and control more people. So that's might be the thing that they're trying to do again. Come out with another agency like the Homeland Security that would come.
Sure, they're going to have building security agency. You got it. Architectural security. Yeah.
They would look at 9/11. I don't know how they would tie it all in, but it wouldn't be much of a stretch because that's their signature event. So why not, cause fear and pandemonium like they did on 9/11, start to do the same thing with buildings in other places? It's because I guess there were buildings over this last weekend, maybe a little bit before.
Uh-oh. I didn't mean to do that. Solitaire 401 9/11.
We are in the Twilight Zone. Things are ass backwards. Glad I found everyone here.
I thank you for joining us. Even if we are on the backup channel, we'll still have even if I can't get my main channel back, we'll have a good 2 weeks, I guess, over here in the quiet, huh?
Building. And that could just be
You're all going to have to share the shit out of this, by the way.
from storms, could be just natural, occurrence, but it could also be some more of their little shenanigans where they're going to start to do more and more of this stuff, around the country.
Mm-hmm. Also,
you, Solitaire.
There's so much talk about tribunals and people, actors, Before we get into that, could we speak a little bit about the development of Gitmo before and after Trump, please?
So during the Obama administration, he tried to shut down Gitmo, and it looked like they might be right on the verge of shutting it down. And then it didn't happen. For whatever reason, they weren't able to. There towards the end of Obama's.
So he asked him about Gitmo. I don't think he has great information on Gitmo. He asked him about Arizona. Not a whole lot else happens. I guess it's time for the elephant in the room, or at least the frog in the room, huh? Let's grab this video and see what they had to say about us tonight. We can't get off their minds, huh? Here we go. Croak. Rebeat.
We all hope to age gracefully so we can enjoy our later years full of energy, vitality, and good health.
Need some patches.
So often, with age, our bodies start to show signs that things just aren't as they used to be. Our energy, skin, healing and recovery time, sleep, it all just seems to go downhill. Unless you're using LifeWave. Since 2004, LifeWave has been delivering its amazing life-enhancing technology to people across the world, always helping the body do what it was designed to do, only better. And as it turns out, the best was yet to come. David Schmidt.
Hell, maybe they'll make this channel blow up too. We need a troll video that they can't claim incites violence, so we can get this one to blow up too. Fuck it.
Our founder, creative force, and
It's sad that we're fighting on the side of truth, and a scripted satire video gets struck down, and we have to act like we're fucking Scott McKay threatening fucking politicians and claiming clones and aliens and election mishandling and shit. Like, that's sad. It's sad as fuck.
Behind LifeWave technology has recently achieved something in the field of regenerative science with a single LifeWave patch that researchers worldwide spending years and billions of dollars could not. Introducing LifeWave X39, the world's first product ever to activate stem cells.
By the way, that guy that came on to promote this when he had his half-ass show where he did half Mama Bears, half Grift, he claimed that their founder, he said, I've made a lot of money at multi-level marketing places, and 3 times the owner just wasn't used to becoming a millionaire, and he sold us out and stole all our money and blah blah blah. But this guy, the owner we got now, he names him. I can't remember his name. He says this guy wouldn't do that to us. He's a good guy. He's a scientist. He's not this guy that owns this company is not a scientist. Just because there's a commercial with him in a lab coat doesn't make him a scientist. I looked it up.
Cells, a true breakthrough in regenerative science that helps restore our bodies to a healthier, more youthful state in a way no other product can. The secret? By harnessing the power of LifeWave's patented phototherapy, X39 uses light to elevate a peptide proven to signal the activation of stem cells. Think about it. These are the cells that generate and regenerate all the cells and structures of the human body. They're the building blocks for our organs, tissues, blood, and immune system. They also serve as an internal repair system everywhere. But as we age, stem cells become less effective. Their ability to repair...
let's skip ahead to stem cells, I guess.
By aging and well-being and incredibly these benefits would be impressive. But
damn, he's got an even longer video this time. He's got the extended version.
Silence becomes a kind of a crime when it operates as a cover or an encouragement to the guilty. Thomas Paine, Pennsylvania PAC, July 23rd, 1779. Also, don't forget, if you head over.
I swear, it's becoming less and less of a coincidence. The videos that I've ever had struck are the ones where I made a satire piece about Simon having special intel. I made a satire piece about Scott McKay having his intel, and this one about Nassar Gassar. And the only people I mentioned in this one is I said, if you don't believe me, I can review it. Like, I can still see it. If you don't believe me, Frog News and Charlie Ward confirmed it. And that's the only time I ever mention their channel. I don't tell anybody to go there. I don't tell anybody to speak to them. I don't tell anybody to check with them or mention them. Like, I swear, they claim that they're evil and they're ruining the country and blah, blah, blah. Somebody's fucking protecting those channels.
Over to their website. Use the code word FROG. You get 5% off.
Their website.
This is a Patriot Company. It's delicious water. With that being said, let me bring my buddy on. Bonafide to the show. Welcome, Bonafide. We got the chat wide open tonight. I'm going to do a couple of calls out, and North Carolina in the house. I ain't going to do many of them tonight, guys. Where you from? Canada in the house. You don't need to ask where Mike is. You already know. He's not here. How's that? San Diego in the house. Currently, North Carolina, Massachusetts in the house, Louisiana in the house, Danville in the house, Florida in the house, Texas in the house, Iowa girl in the house, Louisiana in the house, Providence, Rhode Island. Let's get on with the show. Guys, I should have done more call outs where I bring my buddy Bonafide on.
Go ahead, come on out. I don't care. I'll help you. South Texas, Buffalo, Connecticut. If I can read it, Madison, Wisconsin,
Tennessee.
You have Ruth, Georgia.
Ohio in the house.
Ruth, Georgia. Then don't forget who to vote for down there. That'd be Candace Taylor.
There you go.
Pittsburgh in the house.
That's the only part of this little video I was listening to while I was down and forgot that Facebook was still up. I was trying to figure out why I was struck down. Was the part where Bonafide seemed like he didn't agree with the Nassar Gassar. He's like, I don't understand it. How are all these people going to get money? Who are they going to get to work? How are they going to change tax? Nobody's going to pay taxes.
Danville, Indiana in the house. Doug is in the house. Greenville, Ohio in the house. Midwest City, Oklahoma in the house. Kansas City, Missouri. Arkansas in the house.
Yep.
All right, guys, let's get to the show. So, Bonafide, what you got for me tonight down there in South Carolina, where I'm going tomorrow, guys? Don't forget, next week, Saturday, is the show. Tell us about that show.
That's
anyway.
this week. That's this.
Of course, right before their show coming up. I'm banned again.
This week. Well, I'm sorry. It's this week.
That's the reason I got to get on here, because you'll be messing things up.
Well, I'm sorry.
I sat there last night with Brad. I said, Brad, do not forget to mention the show when you're on stage. Guess what he forgot? He wrote it down too. That's what's so bad about it.
I think that paper. I seen the paper fly off.
That is shitty. Of course, they got a show coming up on this week that he should have mentioned on stage, but
Dave while he was talking, he does rely on his own.
Doug mirrors whatever everybody else mirrors, basically.
I'm just here to listen, and I thought you had a little intel.
Well, here's what I want you to do. I want you to tell us about this show that you're having this Saturday night, the event in Spartanburg, South Carolina, that you are throwing. Who's going to be there? What's going on?
That'd be Mr. Lynn Wood. That'd be Mr. Greg Locke. That'll be Brad Barton. And that'll be Presley Stutz, John Dilemma. The lady here that helped me found Rescue the Kids. Her name is Tracy Martin. Who else have I got on there? I gotta look at my own list. I know there's about 8 of them there. But yeah, that's what basically what we got going on. Let me see here.
Okay, that's this Saturday. What time's that start? And is there any
Professor Toto, don't forget about him.
What time's it starting? Are there tickets still available?
There's a few left. Tickets are still available, but it's looking slim on rooms. All the rooms around. I didn't know there's that many rooms that's going to be booked up, but you may have to drive a couple miles or a few miles to get to a room. But everything in the city of Spartanburg is pretty much booked up.
Well, that's good. Makes it sound like it's going to be a lot of people there, huh?
So here's what I got. I got some intel, alleged intel, because
rumor has
it. This isn't confirmed intel. Seems to be a meltdown at the reactor over in Iran. There seems to be a meltdown going. That's never good, guys. We remember what happened in Russia years ago. It seems that Russia's finance minister to buy $4 billion worth of gold. That's a lot of gold. Because guess why, Tim? Why do you think that they need this gold?
I have no idea. What do you think?
Well, the whole world's currency has to be backed by real stuff now, not fake currency. All world's currency has to be backed by gold, silver, and precious metals. Is why they're buying all the gold.
I'm glad you mentioned that. I'm gonna ask you a question.
Yeah.
Well, no, tell me about this whole reset. What I call Jubilee. How do you feel like this is going to take place? You know, the
QFS.
Yeah, this is the only part right here I heard.
I feel like we're very, very close now. There was some great drops in president. I say that president, commander in chief speech the other night.
Joe Biden, my president. I don't care what.
Well, he your president. You can have him.
Yep.
Well, he's like one of them actors on TV. You know, he's like one of them actors on TV says, you know, on TV I play a doctor, but in real life, that's Joe Biden.
That's right.
In real life, I'm really not, but an actor.
Yep.
What the QFS is, the financial system.
The financial system. What the QFS is the financial financial system. I want the son of a bitch pause.
Evaluates all the money worldwide. We're all on the same.
It finally paused. I was trying to pause it. He said financial financial system.
That's right.
In real life, I'm really not, but an actor.
Do I have a key stock? What the fuck?
What the QFS is,
Oh, the stream just ended. Okay, that's fine. It always messes up right as the stream ends and it gets uploaded, so we have to jump back in where we were. Unless you guys want to watch the commercial again.
You got the wrong job for one thing.
Yeah.
Like that to go down is why they're buying all the Intel. It has to be backed by real.
Right.
In real life, I'm really not. But
here we go.
Yep.
What the QFS is, the financial.
I didn't know what the fuck was going on.
System.
The financial financial system.
Yep.
What the QFS is, the financial system that's getting
the financial.
Ready to take place.
I'm gonna do a video called "The Financial Financial System Kicks Off"
in our country. It's a reset. What it does is it reevaluates all the money worldwide. Where basically we're all on the same, not on the same currency, but our values are the same. Like, you know, poor countries' money isn't worth the same as it is here. If you go to Canada, there's different prices everywhere. Know that all our money that's in circulation in the United States now has Illuminati signs all over it. You can pick up.
Yeah, it is. The money we have now, chat, the money we have now is not quanancial. It is dequanancial. That's the opposite, or the delta, the inverse.
You see the eyeball, that's the sign of the Illuminati. Everything in DC basically has satanic signs on it, and we heard that they're going to move that out of DC, and we're not going to be using that. But what's going to happen is they're going to pull all that money out of circulation. That's why there's a money shortage. A funny story for you guys. Yesterday I go to Walmart and I buy some shorts and stuff like that to go down to see Tim, and I figure, well, they're not the right size. I got to take them back. So the lady wants
be careful about them sizes.
Instead of just let me grab another pair, same ones. No, I got to refund the money. And then she says, look, I don't have any change. She goes, and I said, what do you mean? She goes, do you got a penny? I said, no, I don't have any change. She goes, I'll have to give you 99 pennies because we don't have any coins. I said, I'll tell you what, if your drawer short 1 penny and they take it out of your check, you got the wrong job, for one thing. Yep. Secondly, keep the whole dollar, keep the 99 pennies, okay?
There's some 99 extra ones.
Yeah, Tim, there's a money shortage for a reason.
Oh,
Since last March of last year, the Treasury hasn't been able to make any money, for it's against the law, and it's not been able to stamp any money. That's why there's coin shortages and bill shortages everywhere.
Let me tell you this. When I was in San Antonio last week, they had signs in
Huge. Is that a brand?
The airport. Nobody was taking cash. No cash. If you didn't have a credit card, you were screwed. You couldn't buy no food. You couldn't buy no drinks. There was absolutely no cash in that whole airport.
I think that's more of a plan to get people less cash dependent. It makes you easier to control, to be honest with you. That's one of the conspiracies I believe that it has anything to do with the financial system.
And probably other airports I hadn't been, I didn't really go check in Atlanta or anything, but
right
there in front of the cash register was a little white sign. You know how they put out about the face diapers back in the day. Now the face diaper one's down and it says, we have no cash. If you pay, we do not accept cash. And I think that's
Brian.
Against the law, but I may be wrong. But go on with your story.
Okay, so we're going to be switching over to the quantum banking system, and where supercomputers will run the banking system. As everybody knows, and maybe some of the new people don't know, when Trump first took
Super space computers controlled by God and angels. Don't forget.
Office. He went to 189 different countries in about 2 years. And
These idiots are not only advocating for the control of our financial system, they want microchips placed in every dollar bill and every coin. What about that? It says freedom, conservative, constitutional, any of that. I can buy whatever the fuck I want with cash. You know, microchip in it. Are you kidding me?
And what he done is bring all the child trafficking stuff to the countries, threw it on the table with DVDs, paperwork, and everything. The first place he went was over to Saudi Arabia, and he showed him this, and he says, unless you capitulate, which means work with us, that will expose the king. Well, they didn't do it right at
Capitulate.
first. Then a week later, he went back. When he went back, they were doing the sword dance, and that's a really big deal in Saudi Arabia.
That's right.
Because whoever's standing in the middle holding the sword controls the country. Well, guess who was in the middle holding the sword? President Trump. They capitulated. Then the king got fined in Saudi Arabia, got taken out of his position of power, and the prince went into the power. Guess what? They saved the prince's life in Las Vegas. That's why
right.
all the people got shot. Okay.
Yep.
Once they did that, the prince came to work directly for the president, came over here and started talking to the big corporations about how they could get involved with no better word than we'll call it the Q. That's part of the situation to take the Illuminati down. So he did this in every country around the world. And whether people want to accept it or not, Trump is in charge of the entire banking system now. He's taken it away from the Rothschilds. As we know that Russia's already announced that they're no longer on the Rothschild or the SWIFT system. And what we're getting word of, allegedly, because this is just words for right now, there's no concrete evidence that we're very close to switching over to the QFS. Very close. Indeed, like days, possibly, we hope.
Yep.
And then what they'll do within the first year is pull all that money we have that's satanic. It will pull it out of circulation. The new money's already
Satanic. The satanic money.
Every dollar, every coin will have a chip in it. If you rob the bank, they know where the money's at. With the quantum banking system, there's no cheating anybody.
It's already that way, kind of.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is there's no cheating anybody with the quantum computers.
Yep.
Like gold and silver, they're set every morning in London by the Lords of London over there. Gold and silver set prices over there. That will no longer exist. They're going to collapse our economy and it's going to fold. Our treasury has already been, it has all the gold that we captured and it's in it. The Federal Reserve does no longer exist. If you go to DC, nothing's open. It's a ghost town. So the next part will be NESARA. When NESARA is put in place, within 120 days, they have to re-elect a president. Although if the election is overturned, the rightly president will be put back in office. So this is all alleged, and we hope this is what's happening with our country. But in the meantime, what can we do, Tim, as United States citizens to gain our country back?
Well, I'm going to put a little bit of credibility to your story. All right. None of us really know how it's going to end, but I will remind you.
By the way, that whoever holds the sword in the middle controls the country, of course, that's a lie that they told. Actually, not only did Trump do the sword dance, so he was standing in the middle of a group holding a sword, but so did the Secretary of State and the Secretary of Commerce. Both did it holding the sword. Steve Bannon even was dancing holding a sword. None of that has anything to do with anything. Like, whoever holds the sword in the middle of the dance is the ruler of the country. They just gave it to him. They capitulated. Okay.
Back in 2017, do you remember when all these guys, all these CEOs stepped down? You remember that?
Mm-hmm.
Well, that same sheik, Prince, you know what I'm talking about, went around and basically laid a laptop out in front of these guys and showed them what kind of proof they had on them. So instead of, let's just take, for example, I don't know what I'm calling it now. Let's just take a huge company, an insurance company. Let's just say they had something on this man. And instead of taking him to jail and shutting him down, from what I understand, they worked with him and let him step down and saved his business because this man may have 100,000 employees.
Right.
If you remember that, right after the deal with Vegas, all these corporations, all these CEOs started stepping down. Do you remember that? Does anybody remember that, class?
That
brings some credibility. Huh?
Bunches and bunches of CEOs. I seen on one of the Telegram groups today, Tim Bonafide, that Bezos has the head of Amazon. We all know that he planned on stepping down at the end of the year. That was confirmed. He stepped down today, and the reason he stepped down is because they had the goods on him and child trafficking. He was already arrested. He just made the statement today. But
yeah. Anyway, now the next step after that was what you're saying is our debt will be wiped out. Is that right?
Yes, because when NASARA comes in, part of NASARA is, and I don't have to put the thing up, I know most of it, all the loans that were given on your houses, on your cars, were done under the false or fraudulent Constitution. Do you follow what I'm saying?
Yep.
And we're going to go back to the 1776 Constitution. So anything in between then is null and void. So your house mortgage will be zero. Your car payment will be zero. Your credit will go back to zero. 6,000 cures will be revealed for cancer, heart disease, diabetes.
Hold on just a second.
Yes, because when
Now, the next step after that was what you're saying is our debt will be wiped out. Is that right?
yes, because when
I'm gonna make a recording right here. Are you kidding me, YouTube? I get struck down and we got this going on.
Now, the next step after that was what you're saying is our debt will be wiped out. Is that
At
right?
least mine was satire.
When NASARA comes in, part of NASARA is, and I don't have to put the thing up, I know most of it, all the loans that were given on your houses, on your cars, were done under the false or fraudulent Constitution. Do you follow what I'm saying?
Yep.
And we're going to go back to the 1776 Constitution. So anything in between then is null and void. So your house mortgage will be zero. Your car payment will be zero. Your credit will go back to zero. 6,000 cures will be revealed for cancer, heart disease, diabetes. Why were these kept from us? Because of money, because of greed. All these things were cured back in the 1920s. They created the diseases, for goodness sake, so they could invent the medicines to put you on to keep you strung along all these years.
At least my video was satire. They're claiming that everybody's debt's going to be forgiven. They're claiming that everybody's going to be healed in med beds. They're claiming that Joe Biden has been executed and is a clone. They're claiming all this, but you struck me down on a satire piece for saying, oh, NASARA Gassara's here. They have the actual video, and it's up. My satire was struck down. You've got to be kidding me.
And the additives in the food that gives you the cancer. There are natural cures to every disease there is out there.
Oh, yeah.
And we got med beds coming to help cure you of everything. They're going to gut the hospitals. That's part of NASARA. No more wars. That's a part of NASARA too. So there's a lot of things in NASARA that are absolutely fantastic. And people say, what is this? Go to DuckDuckGo and look up NASARA. GASARA is where it's worldwide. This was signed into law in the year 2000 by Bill Clinton, but the next that wasn't, I think it was signed in by Clinton, but the year after that, it never went into effect. But what happened is when it was supposed to go into effect, the day before 9/11 happened. And we know who took down the Twin Towers. We know what happened. It wasn't, from overseas. Our own country attacked our own country, basically. But that's where it all started in a short version of NASARA, Tim.
All right. Well, here's the question I have.
Okay.
And me, I think of stuff backwards. All right. Well, let's just say I'm going to still work, but let's just say 90% of America, when they don't have no debt and they don't have no reason to get them to go to work, something has got to be done. Let's just take an example right now, what's happening in America, with this extra $300 a week on unemployment. On the way home today, I stopped at Taco Bell, and they didn't have nothing to do. It didn't have nothing to do with COVID, but they had the dining room closed. The reason that the dining room was closed is because they have no employees. Before I had to go to Taco Bell, we was in Gatlinburg right there to the exit, Chopped Steakhouse. My wife walked through there. She needed to use the restroom. There was nobody in there. An hour wait because they had no employees. In the very same parking lot is Uncle Buck's, I think it is, Uncle Buck's restaurant.
Uh-oh.
In the Bass Pro Shop. Closed forever. No employees. So the problem I have with the story that you're telling, if this is going to take place, who is going to work?
Well, I never said that they'd give all the wealth to them. Did you hear
I
me
understand
say
that. I understand that. And I'm just talking about, I just see there's pieces to the puzzle that I don't understand.
I understand.
You understand what I'm saying?
Yes, sir. I mean,
right now,
I had somebody tell me, Bonafide, that I heard we're going to get $100,000 a month. Then who's going to work? Who's going to fix the roads? Who's going to run the sewer plant? Who's going to work at the grocery store? This is not feasible. People need to go away with these crazy.
We got to give it to you slow.
Get your money back from the birth certificate, which was traded on the stock market, which is
back to the birth certificate. Trade in your birth certificate.
absolutely true, but you would probably get that in installments. They're not going to create a situation where everybody's got money and then nobody's going to work. That'd be the dumbest thing in the world. You got to look at what makes sense. You know what I mean? That don't make no sense at all.
You know, just like it did with the birth certificates, I hadn't even looked into it.
Helen, we see you in the back office. Okay, I see you.
We'll be there in just a second, huh?
We'll be there in just a minute. We'll put you on the show.
So anyway, that what I didn't understand that part of it, and obviously it's just like the Bible. If you understood it all, you wouldn't know anything, or you wouldn't have faith. Let's just basically say. And the deal with this is there's pieces of it that, and I try to figure out everything. I'm just that stupid.
Mm-hmm.
But how is this going to take place? Are we going to, not have taxes? I see personally, if they done it the way we've been explained, that it could be a national disaster instead of helping, because people do. I mean, the proof's in the pudding with this deal with the unemployment checks.
Yes.
Nobody in restaurants are working. And it's everywhere. Why would you go to work if you're going to sit at home and draw more than you are at work?
Yeah, they've cut that back a lot now. So
it's coming back. It's coming back. But it gives you a dose of what could happen.
Absolutely. Well, here's what's wrong, and this is just, of course, my opinion, is that people have got complacent with sitting on their ass and not doing anything and complaining about why can't I get it supersized and when's the next check come, instead of getting off their butt and helping rebuild this country to where it's strong again.
Yep. And that's what we out here trying to do now.
Yeah, that's what we're about to go on tour doing it. I mean,
that's right.
And we got big motorhome, and we're about to spread the word all across this country about how to take this country back. Interview these key speakers that are on stage at these patriotic rallies, and listen to some of what they got. They can share it with us and tell us how we can get our country back. And interview some of the people that are in the audience. What brings you here today? That's
right.
And we're going to be the new news. We are the new news.
Oh, they know that about it, because you ain't gonna get no truth off anywhere else.
That's it. The truth news is what we are. Real news, not something that's so far out of space. We can't, because I heard it from a friend and I heard it from a friend that you got intel. None of it can be proved. There's nothing that has been released to anybody.
Exactly. None of your shit can be proved. So why are you putting it out as the fucking truth?
That's
none of it.
Let's just use the word.
They're always on a fucking tour. Holy shit. Everybody's on a tour. It's how they make money. Even Mike said in his video, I want my channel to grow. I wouldn't mind making money with my channel, but I don't want it to be the center point. Doug likes to concentrate on that. Doug knows there's money to be made. That's all he's here for. He's not for God. He's not here for mama bears. He's not here for the chat. He's not here for you. He's not here for intel. He's not here for anything else. He's here for your money. He's been trying for 20 fucking years to become famous online. And now he's got a little audience selling hopium. He's their hopium dealer. And he's going to suck them dry. Whatever money he can get out of it, it's his.
Word, bona fide intel. I mean, we could probably get some, but we have to be careful what we release. You know what I mean? And we're just going to release facts, not fiction, not made up stuff that somebody repeated down the road and keeps getting repeated and give people false hope about stuff.
Stories change after about three.
Well, it's just like, you heard a rumor from somebody and somebody adds a little bit on the story as it goes on down the line. It's in so many songs that we heard when we were young on the radio. You know what? And that's what it is. Instead of worrying about when all that kicks in, what are people willing to do today from this day forward to get our country back? Are you willing to take steps
about that right now?
Make sure you're subscribed to this channel if you're on here, guys. I appreciate it.
Ms. Helen Lee on.
Okay, here she is. Hi, Helen. Welcome to the show.
Hi, thank you so much. What an honor.
We got Bonafide here with us. Welcome to the show. Bonafide, go ahead, brother.
Hey, Helen, we're going to tell some folks how you got started into this, how you got shamed out of your deal with being a delegate in your county. Just tell some folks here what your story is, and then we're going to show that video that you shot of the town hall meeting, and then you can explain it to us on.
Good, because that is.
I have nothing against people standing up in their own communities, for the greater good of their own community. Blah blah blah. That's the way it should be. That's the way it should start, right? You ought to be in your own community. You ought to be doing your own thing. You ought to be doing all that for sure. That's where it starts, is at a small, grassroots, local, whatever you want to call it. That's where it starts. I mean, I don't know what this lady's claim is, but she's not part of my community anyways. You know what I mean? She's part of her community. So hopefully she's standing up for her own community.
just mind blowing.
Yep.
I am just a simple girl from Beaufort, South Carolina that fell in love with Donald Trump. I've always been a Republican and just wanted to get so much more involved when the Donald came on the scene. And so I tried getting involved in my local Beaufort County Republican Party, and I was just ignored. So it took me about 4 years to become a delegate. I became, and this is so important, these precinct reorganizations are so important for us America First MAGA people to get involved in, and it's the only way we can do it. But I got turned away the first time, and the second time I thought, I'm not going to let you do this to me this time. And so I really studied what I had to do, and I became a delegate. And I really just didn't have any intention of voting for Lin Wood or Drew McKissick.
I think Lin Wood might be putting together a multi-channel network, and I think Bonafide might be his representative, and Doug might be one of his channels. The last time Bonafide talked about their multi-channel network, he was talking about 10, 20, 100 channels, all in this network. Now somebody's funding and helping. Satellite phones are coming together, different things coming together. I think Lin Wood might be behind that. Maybe I'm crazy. Who knows? Maybe that's the conspiracy-minded part of me. But it seems like something's going on.
I listened to both sides of the story, and Lin Wood is a patriot and a doer and trying to save our country.
We get this channel to 1,000, we'll monetize this son of a bitch too.
Rallies and things around.
The other one just hit 5,000, and of course I got banned from it.
When Donald was running, and I never met
Assholes.
Drew McKissick. I mean, he didn't show up on my radar, and so it was easy for me to pick once I listened to both guys who I was going to vote for. In the in my county for the state chairmanship of the Republican Party, and I was one of 29. There was only one of me voting for Lin Wood, and the other 28 voted.
I'm assuming he lives in South Carolina. That's the South Carolina Palm.
Against Lin Wood, and I was
Looking like Medusa.
Ratty Clubhouse because Drew McKissick wouldn't let us go to the convention as usual in Columbia. Georgia had their convention. If y'all remember when Brian booed on stage. And then, of course, Donald Trump spoke at the North Carolina State Convention, but South Carolina wasn't allowed to have ours. We all had to be separate and separated. And so I sat in a room with 28 people that voted for Drew McKissick, and they all turned around and looked at me, and I've been a black sheep ever since, a proud black sheep ever since.
All right. Now, explain to everybody what the deal is on this video we're going to be showing.
Well, so that our convention was in May, and honestly, I left there. I was traumatized that they were very cold and rude to me. It was a 4-hour deal during this convention, and I thought, my gosh, I'll never be able to walk down the street in my city again, or I thought I can never hold my head up again. But as time went by, and the more I found out about these rhino Republicans, not only in Beaufort County, but in the whole state of South Carolina, I just got more and more empowered. So anyway, we had to go to an executive committee person meeting last week. And Lin Wood attended because he is a Beaufort County Republican. And there were about 90 people there. And Shane Massey, who is our senior majority leader of the South Carolina Senate, spoke. And after he gave his spiel that went on and on and on and on and on, but that's beside the point. He said, does anybody have any questions? So Lin raised his hand.
Yeah. They're claiming Trump didn't endorse Lin Wood. Their claim is, it's because he needs Lin Wood in the White House. Well, then why did Lin Wood even run?
And
Come on now.
I appreciate the question. And all of a sudden, this man who's a complete rhino establishment person starts screaming, telling Lin to shut up. And the whole thing went into chaos. It was just the ugliest.
Hey, Helen, speak up. People can't hear you.
Okay. Oh, can you hear me now?
Yeah, get up a little closer.
Okay. Oh, should I start over?
No, just keep going.
Okay. So anyway, the whole meeting, it was like, if you remember that movie, Blazing Saddles, when everyone starts fighting and in different parts of the room, it was just the ugliest thing, all because Lin Wood raised his hand and asked Shane Massey, our Senate majority leader, if Trump won the election. And he said, no, he lost. And then everything went into chaos. It was just horrible. And so the takeaway from the meeting from all of my peers was that shame on Lin Wood for asking a question, not that Shane Massey said Trump lost. I mean, something's wrong here.
Yep. All right, Doug, show the video.
All right, let me share my screen. Give me just a second. I'm gonna have to turn my microphone around.
But Trump did technically lose.
Audio. Let me know when you guys can see my screen.
Oh gosh, there it is.
Okay, so let me turn it up
There's
where
Lin.
everybody
See him
can
in the
be able to hear
hat?
it.
Yeah, Lynn's in here.
Yeah, always.
All right, now if y'all talk during this, they're gonna hear you and not them. Okay.
What?
All right, here we go.
Turn that volume up.
Ballot markers and calculators are subject to fraud. Would you support the audit of the South Carolina voters in my first election.
We'll ask you too.
Well, I mean, it's a yes and no, but I'm happy with this summer relationship.
He's asking, would you support an audit?
If you're aware there's a growing movement around the country to have all states do a forensic audit because of the very real concern, not we all know the reality, that Donald Trump was reelected in a massive landslide win. We got some character playing president under the name of Joe Biden. We got to fix that. Do you agree?
Yeah, I think another character named Kamala Harris playing up here.
So whoever's running, or thinks they're running the show, do you agree that Donald Trump won the presidency?
So first of all, he didn't just ask, did Donald Trump win? That's not, he didn't just ask, did Donald Trump win? He said, we all know here that Donald Trump was on a massive landslide and we did this and would you support this? Would you, I mean, he's grilling him, right? And then then this question comes in where he says, would you agree at the end?
Do you agree that Donald Trump won the presidency in November of 2022?
I think he won South Carolina. He won South Carolina.
I didn't answer that.
He won South Carolina. That's true.
South Carolina was left. Do you agree that you looked into it to his conclusion yourself as to whether Donald J. Trump was elected president of the United States in November of 2020?
I think he lost.
You think he lost? And what do you base that on?
The electoral college vote was held, and he didn't get any.
I mean, the process went through. Even if you believe something went wrong, even if you believe this happened or that happened, the process went through. The electors voted. What he's saying is a factual statement.
So I think he lost.
You don't support there being a forensic audit in Georgia or Arizona?
No, I'm a state sovereign guy.
Let me ask you this.
Well, I'm going to answer that question.
If the forensic audits show that they were fraud in those states, do you support there being a review of the election so that we can have President Trump recognized as our elected president? If you find the fraud, which they're finding in Arizona, Georgia, and other states that are beginning to look into it, do you not want that done? I heard the name Trump mentioned tonight until I brought it up. You support the president, you support President Trump, or do you not? Do you support President Trump, or do you not?
I voted for Donald Trump, and I would vote for him again. All right.
Do you support President Trump or not? I voted for Donald Trump. I'd vote for him again.
I was elected to represent South Carolina.
So someone's telling Lynn to shut the fuck up. Listen, the process went through. There was a time set forth to challenge the results, to go to court about the results, to do the results, to argue, to blah, blah, blah. Nothing was in our favor. Nothing was in Trump's favor. It just didn't work that way. Now, you can claim it was stacked, it was this, it was blah, blah, blah. If that happened, they did a damn good job at it. And there's very little we can do. Even with some evidence, it's not going to be like, okay, well, then this guy's the president. You know what I'm saying? Like, they're just going to start moving people up the ladder. They're going to put an asterisk beside it, and we're going to go on about our lives. You would have to, Jesus Christ, I don't know what you would have to have, not to mention kicking off a civil war. Let's say you have like 7 states that come out and say, hey, we reported wrong. This is what actually happened. And then what? Then who steps up? Then who comes out? Then who stops the civil war? We're in a bad fucking spot. And we let them do it. We let them do it. We had a supermajority for 2 years. We didn't fix a goddamn thing on social media. We didn't fix a goddamn thing in the election. We didn't secure anything. We didn't get shit passed. We didn't do a nationwide fucking show ID to vote. We didn't do a nationwide law. We didn't do shit except complain about mail-in voting, and that was it.
You're rude.
Don't you think we have to pursue that?
I appreciate the question. I'll say this. I believe in federalism. I believe in state sovereignty. I believe in state rights. I believe that people in Arizona are perfectly capable of handling Arizona. I've got a big enough and I think everybody here needs to understand this. I believe South Carolina's election laws are strong. I believe our election in 2020 in South Carolina went well. That doesn't mean that it's all perfect. I do think there are things we need to change. As I mentioned earlier, I think the biggest change we need is personnel to enforce the laws that are on the books. But I have no problem with other states doing whatever they want to do. But I'm going to focus on South Carolina. And I don't think South Carolina is in a position that some of the other states are in because our election laws are strong and we took preventative steps preemptively to avoid a lot of those problems that other states are having to deal with. We didn't have those because we took the preemptive action to stop them. So I feel good about South Carolina, and I think there was a free.
All right, Doug.
Meeting adjourned. No more questions. Meeting adjourned. They don't want any more questions.
So let me turn my mic around. You see what happened is the rhinos don't want to answer any more questions.
Right.
Doug has to put his mic up to the computer to play that. That's why he has to turn his mic around. He has to push his mic over to his speaker to play the audio.
So we're coming straight after their butts about the election fraud, and they don't have any answers. So their answer is just go ahead and let's adjourn the meeting.
Hey, Helen.
Did you see today the Donald statement saying that the rhinos are the worst problem that
Yep.
we have right now? I mean, it's just so true. It's so true. We have to get tough, and we have to do it now, you guys.
You listen here. Tell everybody how to get in touch with you. Tell everybody about your Facebook group. And if you're a patriot and you're in South Carolina and you want to join with us, get in touch with Helen. Because we're going to go start going to these meetings all over the state. When they call them in, we're going to stand up and we're going to ask these questions.
Yes, we are. Also, all of my social media is The Helen Lee. I have a YouTube channel where I try to put out videos like the one you so kindly shared, Doug. I really appreciate it. And I have an Instagram. I also just started, thanks to Tim, told me to start a private group. It's The Helen Lee Republican Improvement Movement. And people have been reaching out all around here because they're sick of it too. And we have to shut down the rhinos. It's the only way to save our country. And the Donald said it today.
Yep. The Helen Lee, go to her YouTube channel, subscribe. She's going to be putting out videos. She'll be covering the event this week, also this Saturday, Spartanburg.
Yes, looking forward to that. Will you be there, Doug?
Hey, listen.
Well, I'll be there. You betcha I'll be there.
Yeah.
Oh, good. I'll be nice to meet you. Sorry.
I'll be interviewing everybody.
We're going to be at Cotton Hall, Ian, Lynn's place, on the 17th.
Nobody told me about that.
Well, I'm telling you now.
I
didn't find out about it
today.
last night. He's doing a fundraiser deal for.
Doug said he's getting a camper and following this tour around, all the different tours to interview everybody.
Candace Taylor.
Oh, okay.
So I don't know what it's going to be. I think there's going to be music and stuff down there, but it's an opportunity to come down there and meet Lynn. You can also meet Lynn in Spartanburg, but this is for the a fundraiser for Candace, who was on here a couple nights ago and putting these deals together, helping her get started in Georgia.
Yeah.
And they've been some real crooked stuff, crookeder than what you pulling out. But I did talk to that gentleman you sent me up with today.
It might be worse here. Who knows? I'm just getting started.
You're right. Everybody, our power is in numbers. But
that's right.
Anyway, Helen, we appreciate what you're doing, and love you. And we'll see you Saturday. Okay.
Okay.
Don't forget Friday night.
I'll see you down in Spartanburg.
Yeah. Don't forget Friday night. Friday night we're gonna have dinner. Okay.
Looking forward to it. Thank you so
Right.
much. I appreciate it so much. Bye, Doug. Thanks.
Okay, thank you. Thanks for coming on. All right, Bonafide.
All right. Listen. Here's what I got to say. This right here. This lady was a little shy lady. I met her in Greenville at Presley's event. She had 800 followers, just dealing in her town.
Mm-hmm.
Right? If you are out in your area doing things like this, we want to bring you
It's
on.
always good to keep an eye on people, to call people out, but you can, I don't know. What did they expect that guy to say? You know what I mean? Like, what did they expect him to say? The process is complete.
Here.
Mm-hmm.
We want to talk to you and let everybody in your area know that you are the patriot that is standing up. Come join with us. That is the only way that this is going to work. Is when you at that meeting that she just went to, there was probably maybe 3 or 4 patriots there.
Right.
But just so happened Lynn was there.
3 or 4 diehard Trump supporters.
If you had a room with more patriots, and they are more patriots, you see how these people rode on Donald Trump's coattail to get elected, and then basically throwed him under the bus when this thing happened to him.
Look at that guy freaking out. You're interrupting him and screaming.
Yep. All right.
Idiot.
And I guarantee you he voted for Trump, but he don't care.
Right.
See, there's no reason to go to 2022 or 2024 until 2020 is fixed.
That's it. We can't wait till then, man.
Well, we can't wait,
but you haven't presented any fucking thing. You keep saying that, oh, the left is going to wake up and they're going to hate Joe Biden and then they'll be ready for Trump to come back. That's not happening. That's not happening. So the options you presented us with is some miracle fucking happens. Everybody suddenly loves Trump and we put Trump back in, or nothing. What right now, even if you get multiple states and blah blah blah, and someone tries to put Trump back in, not only are we going to be in the middle of a civil war, the military is going to be split. I think it'd be heavily red, but still it's going to split. The states are going to fucking split. What do we do there? You keep saying, oh, they're showing how stupid Joe Biden is, so everybody is woke. We need 81%, 73%, 12%, what the fuck ever percent. That's not happening. Has anybody just found their liberal friend and been like, oh my God, I just want Trump in here no matter what it takes. We should throw Joe Biden in Gitmo. That's not happening.
Also, we got to find the evidence is there, basically. But it is going to take everybody participating. Going to these meetings, it's very easy to find out. Just go find out who your local politicians are. They're going to post it on their social media. And then you send it to everybody in your group. It don't matter if the group's 5. It don't matter if the group's 5,000. You show up at these meetings.
That's it. That's what's got to be done. We got to start getting these rhinos out of office right away. Got to confront these people, expose them for what they are.
Yep. And you got to go down here and support these local businesses. I mean, I keep on saying over and over again. I just hope somebody will listen. You know, the intel. I mean, I want to address this deal with the intel, and I see these people here. You know, with all these. You know, he said, she said. All right, this is just me. I would rather hear the truth. That's the reason I asked Doug. I said, man, I don't understand all this a while ago. You know, if all this debt's wiped out, is it going to hurt us? That's a legitimate question. Okay. I would rather not hear it and hear the truth. You can listen. I'm going to go ahead and call a couple out. You can listen to Charlie Ward. You can listen to Simon Parks until the cows come home. But until you get out and participate, until you go to one of these meetings, until you get a crowd together, we are losing our freedoms daily.
That's exactly right.
All right. As y'all know, I just came back from the border. And I have stuff in my phone that Doug will not even allow me to put on here.
It's a lot of murdering and stuff going on down there, folks.
I'm telling you right now, we are being invaded. We are being invaded by the...
I believe that. I believe that there's issues at the border that need to be resolved. We don't have the politician in place to resolve any of those. It's not happening. But you also have to take your place in saying that up until 2 weeks ago, you were telling people that the shit at the border was fake to make people hate Joe Biden, to wake them up, that Donald Trump was really in control and the military was there. When are you going to take responsibility for that? Now you're all about the fucking border. Now we got to stop the border. Now we got to save it. Now we got to shut it down. We got to fix something. Joe Biden's not doing it. Kamala's in the wrong place. 2 weeks ago, it was fake, and it was to prove that Joe Biden was a piece of shit and to wake up the left. We could have been fighting this 2 months ago. Assholes.
Daily. All right, let me explain this to you. They know that they done use these two other tricks. One of them being the sickness. You know what the sickness is. You know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
All right, and then you got the machines. So we call them on both of them.
Right.
Americans, nobody, Democrat or Republican, are going to fall for that again. So their next move is to invade us with their voters.
That's it.
All right. Not just their voters. MS-13 is coming in wide open too as a threat. But as soon as Title 42 is signed, if it's ever signed, when it's signed, whatever the case may be, all these people that are coming in by the thousands are going to vote against me and you.
Absolutely.
And
we'll never see another fair election in our lifetime.
Yep. So if the elections, if this voting deal is fixed and is correct, they know that it's going to happen. That's why they're shipping all these people in. All right. And to be honest with you, if I was in another country and I came here and my president that let me cross the border and become an American citizen, I'm not going to vote against him. You can't blame them. All right. So that's their next move. The only way this stops is our numbers gather up just like that and go to these towns.
By the way, Title 42 is in place. Title 42 is what Trump put in place to keep the border crossings down low. Title 42 is the border expulsions. That's what Trump's they're saying remove Title 42. They're saying the whole fucking thing backwards.
Hall meetings, and I'm talking about from the schoolhouse to the White House.
Absolutely.
265 of U.S. Code, Title 42 permits the director of the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention to prohibit the introduction in the United States of individuals when the director believes that there is a serious danger of the introduction of a communicable disease into the United States. That's in place right now. Repealing Title 42 is what they're talking about. So now they've even got their fucking viewers confused. Oh, let's sign Title 42. Title 42 is already in place. Job well done. Idiots.
Go ahead and give us something. I'm tired of talking.
That's how I feel 100%. If you're not getting involved in your cities, your counties, and in your state, how do you got any room to complain? Are you just sitting back waiting for the next handout, sitting on your ass, ain't doing nothing but complaining? When's the next check coming? Or do you want to hear some more of that, what I call inquirer intel? I got intel. I got real intel. Who the hell told
the
you?
best intel I can give you? The best intel I can give
you. Doug, you and Mike are spreading the intel. Who, I don't. You and Mike were spreading the intel. When this show started, you spread intel. Oh, I don't know if this is confirmed or not, but Iran's got a nuclear reactor melting down, and we know how bad that is. You know what happened last time this all took place. You were spreading. Who's spreading the intel?
you is to get involved.
That's it. You got to get involved.
The only thing you need to know, go out and get your own intel.
There you go.
That seems very, very, very strange to the thing you said on the last show where people should be involved locally, which is a thing that I've been saying for months and months and months and months. But you claim you got it from General Flynn. I remember now. It's weird.
Like Helen did, and she filmed this. She had proof. That's proof that we are being run by rhinos. I'm not worried about the Democrats.
Right.
Because after this last deal, after this mess is going on and $5 a gallon gas, you ain't got to worry about him getting reelected.
Right.
Unless Title 42 is signed.
And what's that? What's going to happen then? They're just going to walk in our country? Or we're just going to open the gates up and let them flow in?
That means everybody that is here becomes legal.
So they could have sent in, let me ask this question just to play the other side of the fence. So all the people that are coming in during the daytime, what about the people that didn't catch bona fide? Could these be trained assassins? Could these be like what we heard in some videos that they take kids and train them to be assassins and mercenaries that are coming in our country that we're unaware of because they seek across the border at nights and they're going to be in the cities killing people when this all goes down?
What are we going to do to stop that? Destroying the cities. I got a guy that lives right outside of Portland, a friend of mine I met in Texas. And I told him to go to the city and get me proof of everything going on because the media is not there.
Doug's trying to become some type of local action committee and no intel, and it's all bullshit. And just up to a few days ago, that's what they were doing. Intel. We know 2 weeks ago they were telling people the border crisis was fake. They literally had to do a show and say, I know we've been telling you that it's not going down the border, but now bona fide's down there, and we think it's real, folks. We think it's really happening. It's time to get serious. We're being invaded. Yeah, everybody knew that.
And then he's going to get some video proof, and then we're going to bring him on, and he's going to tell you that he cannot have an American flag on his house because they rip it off every single time he puts an American flag on his house. And he is in the suburbs. He is in the suburbs of Portland, Oregon.
Man, that's amazing because if you come rip my flag down, we're going to have a problem. You understand? We're going to have a one-on-one problem. First of all, you're trespassing on my property, and I don't care where you live. This is my property. You're not going to destroy my property because I'm well insulated. You understand? But that's what's wrong with America today. They've become, I feel bona fide. I understand. I feel like they have programmed our children to become not strong. They want them to be weak. They don't want them to stand up for nothing. What they want to do is just complain and look for the next thing to protest about, as opposed to standing up for our constitutional rights.
Yeah.
Which are being taken away on a daily basis.
I'm not going to argue that he's well insulated. He is.
Questions people ask me how I got involved. And I took a few notes here. And I hope this inspires some people. It may piss some people off, but I've been known to piss a couple off myself. So how I got involved. I own a business called Bonafide Storage. I was fixing to launch another part of the business, which was strictly for RV covers. All right. And I had heard about Clay Clark. Clay Clark is a business coach. That's how he got started, business coaching. He knows how to do all the internet and blah, blah, blah. So basically, he was helping me through some things. And he invited me to go to the Rhema Bible College to that meeting that they had in Oklahoma.
Right.
All right. Now.
So you're telling me you just got involved a few weeks ago? Damn, you got up on that soapbox quick, didn't you? He just got involved at Grifter Fest.
At that meeting, I did not know that until this meeting. That's the very first time that Lynn Wood, Brad Barton, myself, Professor Toto, Mike Lindale, all these people had been under the same roof. All right, so let me back up a second. Kim Clement had a prophecy, and in the prophecy was about a man named Donald and about a man named Clark. Now, Kim Clement's prophecy. After that, in 1967, there was a prophecy that Kenneth Hagin put out in 1967. He said, now you can look it up, go on YouTube, pull up Kenneth Hagin, 1963. Prophecy 1963, Kenneth Hagin. He says that there's going to be a demonic spirit that takes over this nation, and the rebellion for that will start at Rhema Bible College in Oklahoma.
Wow.
Now listen to this. Clay was going to put on a little event with 500 people in his office. Before he knew it, he had 4,500 tickets sold, so he had to go to the local place to do it. Now, Clay had absolutely no idea that this prophecy was going on. Now, when Clay announced that he was going to be putting this meeting on, the very first meeting, this is the very first, let's just call it Patriot Meeting. There was 4,500 people there. And he put the meeting on, and then he started getting emails. You are living out the prophecy. You're living out the prophecy. You're living out the prophecy. He had no idea what they was talking about. All right. So then they show it to him, and then they tell him about this. I'm going to tell you something that you don't know. Clay Clark has been a Christian for less than a year.
Really?
Yep. He's always been a businessman, but he
learned that Bible pretty quick. He knows everything.
He's a very, very smart man.
Yep. I'm not saying he didn't. I knew this, and I was planning on doing a show about Clay Clark. I'm not saying he didn't become a Christian in less than a year and suddenly blah, blah, blah. Seems awful convenient that all these grifter fests are going on, that all these people are making all this money. Clay Clark happens to have a business seminar going on. Suddenly he's super Christian. And he needs all the Christians to gather in the name of Donald Trump, Jesus Christ, and come out. Less than a year, more like 3.5 months, he's been saying this. His fucking thing was 2 months ago. His fucking Grifter Fest was 2 months ago. Seems really strange, huh?
Man, very, very smart man. Love him to death.
Wow.
So he finds out about these prophecies, and he can't sleep at night. He can't sleep at night. He said, Lord, and then he just woke up and said, I guess it's me. There ain't nothing I can do about it. It's me. I'm going to have to do the deal. All right. This is before the Rhema College thing. So he just got on board, started reading his Bible, and then.
He's the guy who put on the first Grifter Fest with Lynn Wood screaming, but why? Tell him, Clay Clark, send this to the House of Windsor. That's the guy.
The doors just open. And
the guy that talks real fast, has a radio show, is not really a Christian apparently, and suddenly becomes one when he needs to be to make money. Weird.
And I learned more at that meeting.
He claims it's all about God. It's all about shutting this down. It's all about fixing the country. We got to put God back. God, when it becomes convenient to make money that way. Weird as fuck, huh?
Then I have any on the internet because.
Yes, the Oklahoma thing, and since then there's been the Florida thing. There's been the fucking, where was the last one at? Arkansas? Or wasn't the last one in Arkansas? No, Nashville. He's putting on all these shows that he had planned one business seminar. Now he's suddenly a fucking super Christian, and he's got 30 events with Linwood and General Flynn and Sidney Powell and Scott McKay and everybody else. Seems very, very, very strange that he converted at the time that you can make millions of dollars by having a conference and being converted. Weird. It's almost like fucking denying being a Jew right on the edge of the Holocaust.
Because we are censored here. We can't even say the word Vaseline, folks.
That's it. That's true.
I mean, the truth is censored. Now, that in the prophecy,
that's not true. You can say the word vaccine. You can't give people advice that you can't fucking validate.
Kenneth Hagin said, is that would start the ripple.
Right.
All right. That one meeting would start to ripple. All right. Doug got to go to the second meeting. I've been to all of them. I'm not going to California because I just soon not go there. But anyway, all these little meetings that me and Brad, Lynn's putting on, all these little meetings came. Toto went with us. Me, Toto, and Brad went together. And all these little meetings are starting to show up everywhere. It started at Rhema Bible College, just like the prophecy said. So, with that being said, with two separate prophets, I know some of y'all people don't believe in prophets, but if it's in the Bible, I got to believe it. So, two separate people at two separate times, one of them being Kim Clement about Donald and a guy named Clark, and then Kenneth Hagin in 1963 has a prophecy and says these things are going to happen, right? So we can say that we are living in biblical times right now. Would you agree?
Absolutely. I believe we're living in the book of Revelations.
All right. Now, let's just say that God is writing a sequel to the Bible.
Wow.
This prophecy is coming true. All these things. I have yet to see anything contradict in the Bible. Now, I've seen plenty of preachers contradict the Bible, but if you go to the Bible and you read it, it's not going to be contradicted. Now, my question to you is, if you believe in God, you are a Christian, you claim to be a Christian, where are you going to be in the new Bible? If he's writing a sequel, will you be a chapter? Will you be mentioned? Will you be Judas? Will you be Timothy? Will you be Moses?
Just to be fair, the Bible is a start to finish, beginning to end. There is no sequel. It ends. It's not left on a cliffhanger. It ends.
Who are you going to be? It hurts me, but it gives chills to me to think that all you people out there want to sit around and listen to wolf tickets, like somebody is going to come save you. Not one single war. God never won one single war. Y'all heard the story last night that Brad put on the show.
I did.
80 men beat all them other people. Not one single war was won without human activity. Period. It is your time to get up. I'm sorry that we don't have intel and ain't some big miracle going to happen tonight, but this is the best intel you will ever have, is to get off your lazy ass.
Tell it, baby.
At least Bonafide did something to fix Doug's channel. I mean, I would rather him put out this hip hip hooray shit than be spreading this fake fucking prophecy, fake fucking intel bullshit.
Go get involved with your community. I don't care. I got a arrest record 4 pages long and a 9th grade education. I cannot spell education, but I'm out here doing it. Helen Lee, shyest woman you'd ever want to meet, but she growed her a pair because she sees exactly what's going on. And that is what we need, is we need you to participate. We need to put you on this show and say what you've done in your community.
What have you done to help society? What have you done to gain back your community? We'd love to put you on the show and let you talk about it.
Yep.
There we go.
We would love to come to your town with you with your movie and videotape it.
That's it.
Anyway, my throat done got sore. You tell them, Doug,
You're doing a great job. You're doing a great job. So I'm not denying that the quantum banking system is coming. I'm not denying that. I'm not denying the SAR is coming. But you can't wait.
God.
You got to take action now to get our country back. I mean, sitting around waiting and doing
Why not just say who the fuck knows?
He has to go on this journey to help our country, because I'll be doing something to help the fact. Do you know what I'm saying? Yep. Promoting it, going out on the road. Yes, I do mention my sponsors. For us to go out on the road, we need sponsors to do that. And last time I checked, it's not against the law to make a living Okay, guys and girls, it's not about the money. We need the money to go on the road. Okay, so I promote sponsors.
Mike's the one who called you out about that.
Sponsors. That's how this thing rolls, bro.
Yep.
And last time I checked, you can still make a living. Is that all right?
Well, here's the thing about it is people that hate you for making money don't have no money. I've had haters all my life. And the ones who run their mouth about you making money absolutely have no money. You know why? Because they spend their day busting you because you out here making money.
You think?
And you ever now think about this? Think about your haters all your life. All they do is hate. Hate don't make no money. Have you ever had a hater that had more money than you?
Nope.
Well, Doug literally spent 20 or 30 fucking years trying to make money doing this.
What are we going to do with Liberty Water? These folks call up and say, hey, we'd love to be a part of this because we are patriots.
And we bring water to all these events that promote patriotism. They're patriot company.
Yep. And I'm going to tell you what. We had a couple people call Liberty.
Seems expensive.
Said, oh, we don't like it the way this is going. The only thing you got put on was a prayer list because I'm going to tell you, they're going to start praying for you. So if you hate us, if you hate Doug, and there's nothing wrong with Mike.
Who called Liberty?
No, we're not enemies. That's what everybody gets.
But here's the deal is, if you hate, things change. Things just change.
Sometimes you go a different direction. We just didn't seem to be on the same road. He decided, well, I'll just start my own show. But I've been hated over it because he started his own show. I talked to Mike just the day before yesterday. I talked to him 2 or 3 times since he went on his own show.
Mike was just talking about how you focused the show on money, and he wasn't comfortable with that.
Watch his show, but I heard a friend of mine watched it last night, and people asked him about Doug and money. He said, "There's nothing wrong with having sponsors. Yeah. That's how you can get bigger and bigger. That's all I've done is got sponsorship to come in. Bonafide helped me get some sponsorship in Tampa, and now we're going on the road to take the show. We're going to become the news. Watch and see.
You know what this is? This is all defense. He feels guilty about it. His own fans are turning. He has to claim they're paid to come harass him. His own fans are turning. This is all defense.
See what I say as we grow. It's not about bragging. It's about helping our country. That's all. Don't be hating because we're helping the country. That's all I got to say about this. Mike has never said a bad word about me. I haven't said a bad word about him. But all the people want to create division because that's what the devil would have. He would want to divide us all so we can't work and get the job done.
Yep.
That's the.
See, here's the thing about it. What they want to do is
if you had a sponsor and you really didn't feel bad about it, you wouldn't be out here defending it all the time. You feel like you did something wrong. I don't know what. I don't think there's nothing wrong with having sponsors. I probably wouldn't have picked a Miracle Patch. The water's fine. The water's expensive, but I probably wouldn't have picked a Miracle Patch to be my sponsor. But I mean, you got to get in where you multi-level market, I guess.
Divide us. Y'all might as well be Democrats. Y'all trying to divide us. You don't see. I mean, everybody's my friend. I'm friends with Toto, Brad. You know, I mean, and everybody, and all these. There's a lot of channels out there that has done this deal with this intel. And much I hate to say it, I hadn't seen any of it come true.
Nothing.
No. Okay, so now you would rather hear a movie.
What do you mean nothing? You can't say nothing, Doug. Your channel was spreading the intel. What do you mean nothing? Your channel was you can't agree with him. He's talking shit about you.
Then hear the truth. If that's the truth, go hit up. You know,
go on over to Charlie. Go on over to Simon. Maybe he'll get you beamed up to the spaceship.
Yeah.
Because Simon claims he's been beamed up to the spaceship and he has alien children. Yeah. I always take my intel from somebody like that.
Yeah. Well, I'm gonna tell you, I ain't never been fond of no man to have a bunch of cats around.
No.
I mean, I got one.
That is, I'll agree there.
But you know what I'm saying. We're gonna have haters.
100%. And as the show grows, guys, next week. This Saturday, I keep saying we'll be at the VIP dinner this Friday night.
Tomorrow night, you're gonna be here. And we're gonna have Greg Locke on.
Yeah.
Everybody start talking bad about Greg. He's used to it. He'll out into you.
Yeah, he's a preacher, and y'all gonna talk bad about the preacher tomorrow.
Yeah. He's one of the only ones that has got out here and understands that when they separated state and church, that was the biggest mistake ever made in America. When you separated state from church, did you know the church used to be the local meeting hall, the local town hall? That was the church. That was a place to meet at.
I've never seen somebody that size backpedal that quickly.
With singing and people talking, and probably 1,200 patriots standing there.
Someone in the chat said, I've seen over 15 UFOs. What's the matter with UFOs?
It's just a point where you just got to get involved. You know, if you don't want to, if you don't want to get involved, don't blame nobody but yourself.
Well, here's the thing is, and the way I see it, and this is just me, of course, just me. I'm not speaking for both of us, but the people that are complaining, where's the intel, are the same people that are doing nothing to help change society. Aren't you the same people? Don't worry, guys, because starting next week, we're gonna bring somebody around.
You started an intel channel, and then get mad when people ask if you've got intel.
Don't worry, guys, because starting next week, we're going to bring somebody around to help us get the call-in show going. So when you're complaining in the chat, maybe you can get on the phone with us and tell us how you're fixing the country, because we'd love to hear your ideas on how you're about to fix it sitting on your hands.
Okay.
Anyway,
Yep. We're going to let y'all call in and cuss us out live.
that's it. Bring it. Don't bring it on. Hey, how many people out there watching us tonight remember this old guy about 3-4 years ago, Outlaw Morgan? Y'all know who he is? He's a good friend of Tim's, good friend of Tim's.
That's another one I got as a friend of mine.
Yeah.
Somebody named Alvin, some foreign last name, says only 6,000 watching. All right. So what we're going to do right now is we're going to go to Alvin's channel and see how many's watching him. He won't talk bad about 6,000 people watching. Only 6,000 watching.
How many people you got, Alvin?
Yeah, let's go on here. Alvin. What's Alvin's last name? I can't even pronounce it. He looked like he's from over yonder, over the creek somewhere. I can't find him now. Alvin, say something else, buddy. Let everybody go to Alvin's channel.
That want to talk this crap, especially the guy that wants to critique my show every night. If you'd like a link to the show to come on here and be a man and grow a set of nuts,
let's do it.
On the show and run your mouth. Come on,
let's do it.
Me in the chat and tell me where I can send the link to, because I'm about to shut you the hell up.
Just message me in the chat. You've had me blocked for 3 months.
All right, here.
Shut me up.
What is the deal with these people with these foreign names?
I'm not angry.
AFNAAR.
But they are.
I'm not angry. I'm not angry. I'm just yelling.
I'm angry.
AFNAAR.
What they are is made up names that a gamer can't keep a job, so he sends all his gamer friends over to attack the chat because he's
a disabled veteran. I can't hold a job.
He's got nothing better to do but ask for a GoFundMe page so he can take funds in so he can pay his rent, because he's out of work and he's not good enough to be a gamer, but he teaches people how to bully people. That's real strong. If you want the link, you can come on the show and show us how you're changing America.
Yep.
I got you.
That is, have you got an email address set up for that?
The Frog News Network at gmail.com. If you'd like to contact me,
right, everybody, I want everybody to know, because they act like it's a big old secret. Mike's web channel. Mike's channel is Legacy Marketing Network,
which is Mike.
Why wouldn't Doug give that out? Why didn't Doug want to say where Mike's channel was? Why didn't Doug ever mention it? It took fucking Bonafide to come on to give out Mike's channel.
And David's, but I hope David's okay with him using that channel.
Yep.
But anyways, that's where it's at. You don't need to ask every 3 questions. Where's Mike at? Everybody knows.
Oh, it's Ken David's. I hope Ken David's okay with him using that channel. What the fuck kind of shot at Mike was that? Did you hear that?
And David's, but I hope David's okay with him using that channel.
Yep.
But anyways, that's where it's at. You don't need to ask every 3 questions.
What the hell?
Where's Mike at? Everybody knows he's got his own show, and we're not upset with each other, but
they're all tore up.
That's just trolls trying to create
problems. Mike is welcome to come down there this weekend.
Yeah, he can come on the channel if he wants.
Yeah, he can come here. He can come down. I don't care.
Come on the show. I don't care. I don't. This is the direction.
God damn, your voice got high to not be caring very much.
I wanted to go.
Ken David is the guy who taught them how to live stream, I guess. The guy who runs the live streaming academy, blah, 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 blah.
I wanted to go with real stuff, real news. How can we change the country? And I met Bonafide, and I was like, he said, hey, man, come on down here to Tampa. And I met him in Tampa. I felt like one of the family as soon as I arrived in Tampa. Now I'm going to his house.
I'm glad. Okay, look. I'm glad Doug went with real actual news, if that's what he's going to stick to, instead of fake-ass intel. But you can't just slip away like you weren't part of this whole intel thing. You at least need to stand up like a grown-ass fucking man. You're what, pushing 400 pounds? You're a big-ass, grown-ass man. You at least got to stand up and say, look, I was part of the problem, but I'm fixing it now. I apologize for what I did, for what I sent you guys down this wild fucking goose chase and shit, but I'm fixing it now.
To stay down there for a week, and we're going to get to know each other even better. And then
we're going to Lynn Wood's house.
We're going to Lynn Wood's house.
How many of y'all here going to Lynn Wood's house?
Listen, next weekend, but this weekend, I keep saying next weekend. This weekend,
I'm going to
be interviewing everybody that speaks on stage. Okay, everybody's going to be interviewed by me. Okay, and you're going to be able to see that on video or live. We'll be.
Mikey, come on, tell me what's going on the show. Tell me what's going on the show.
Interviewing Linwood.
Okay,
we'll be interviewing,
sounds like it.
John, what's his last name? The keynote speaker. He'll be there. Yeah, we'll be interviewing him. We'll be interviewing everybody.
Yeah, I'll get it in a minute.
On stage, we'll be interviewing people that show up, ask why they came here, and what would they like to see our country change back to. I mean, you want news? That's news. Okay.
I want to ask Mickey Day, who did we call out that makes it not Christian like? I want to ask her that.
Yeah, I think he's too small to be 400 pounds. I was probably exaggerating. He ain't, but I mean, he looks like, I don't know. He's short.
Explain to me what's Christian like about
him. He couldn't carry that much weight.
You know, Jesus called people snakes. Matter of fact, Jesus called a woman a bitch one time. But anyway, I'm not Christian like for call. Who are we calling out? And then William, what is embarrassing? William Barker, what is embarrassing? Explain to us what we want to hear you. Matter of fact, if you want to get on the show and tell us what is embarrassing, we'd love to have you on here. If you ain't got a pair, I'll let you borrow one of mine. Talking all that crap.
Well, that's
I'm the one that told Doug to put these remarks on here.
Yeah, well, we're going to open it back up. If you guys have got a set, come on.
Yep. And I'm going to tell you something.
Open it.
Until the whole deal, I hate this right here. I hate Zoom calls.
Yeah. But let me ask you this.
That is a monster of COVID.
Let me do this. Jeff, you just messaged me. Would you like to come on? Do you got any intel you'd like to share with us? Because Jeff is my guy that really has real intel. If you want to, just let me know and I'll send you a link.
Hey, look here. If Jeff ain't gonna get his ass out there and go do something,
you leave Jeff alone. That's my boy here.
Yeah, put Jeff on here. We got to talk about something.
Let me send him a link and see if he'll come on. Hold on.
Is this the whole thing?
Call some people out.
he said it's about time you address this.
This was a fucking joke.
And I just, I laid back, and I don't want to say I didn't defend myself, but I thought it would just slow down. But it's time to call these people out that want to say all these terrible things and have no proof whatsoever. It's just their mind. I told Tim that when I drove tractor trailers.
But what proof do you have? You have a guy who comes on and says things. You just randomly claimed that a nuclear reactor was melting down. Where's the proof? These people who claim things and have no proof whatsoever. Where's your proof?
Same people with the mic at the truck stop. If you back into my truck, I'm going to kick your ass. Say what? And they'd hide behind the curtain in the truck with the microphone because they won't fight nobody. They would, there was a microphone warrior. Some people are just keyboard warriors. You know what I mean?
Shannon Crofton wants Helen's info. All right. It's the Helen Lee. That's one word. She's in South Carolina. Shannon, we're going to be in Spartanburg this Saturday. But
Doug's voice went so high, I thought he was transgesturing for a while.
All right. And
I'm serious. I would rather him cover news than pretend he has intel and play this fake intel, NESARA, GESARA, birth certificates bullshit.
We're going to start putting these groups together.
But he needs to even up.
Let's call this
like I fucked up.
Jesus wins. Yes, God.
Now we're trying to take some real action. Sure.
On tour, and going to get ideas on how to save the country from all the keynote speakers. No action. We are taking action. Would you like to come on the show and tell us what you're doing to take action?
We can't get on to Jeff. Where's Jeff at? He coming on?
I'm trying to get him. Jeff, come on, man. Come on in the back room. Come on.
Mike is live now. The best thing about these live shows is you can go back and watch them.
Yeah, absolutely true. Maybe he don't got nothing is why he doesn't want to come on.
He comes on. I saw him on earlier.
Show him what he need to do in his community. The Helen Lee. That's right, Peter.
Some good old boys that love our country. Thanks, Mike and Bonafide.
That's right.
That's right. Who's next? It's just like a barbershop.
It's much better to be a news channel than it is an intel channel. But like I said, he's committed all of this. And now he's like, we're going to do this. We're going to do that because we don't believe in that bullshit. We don't believe in Charlie Ward. We don't believe in Simon. The shit you were spreading was the same shit they were spreading.
Anyways, I guess Jeff ain't going to jump on, but that's cool.
I thought he came on.
No, that's not what Jeff said, dude. You want me to show you the message, but you got a big mouth anyway. He doesn't want to come on my show. Ma'am, he don't want to come on my show. Hey,
No,
Jeff, hey,
Ma'am.
you don't want to come on my show. Why don't you go somewhere else?
Hey, Jeff, before you come on the show, have I told you about this water? It's real good.
By
If you get your address, if you get your address,
you send me your address, I'll have him send you a case of water. Okay. Well, I see you comment. It's about time you address this. So Bonafide said, turn the comments on. I'm about to introduce myself. So that's what we did. So what you got, man? What you
So
got?
he had to pull you out of hiding. Turn the comments on. I'm gonna have to fix your channel.
Won't beat up on you.
Oh, that's all right. Hey, I get beat up on all the time.
Man, we love you. You know that.
Yeah. No, it's a good direction. I think you're going.
Thank you very much. Well, we're trying to do something that makes a difference. Do you know what I mean?
I
Jeff?
agree. News is better than intel. You still played a big part in this.
People are struggling for information. I'm struggling for information. Everyone, the American people got themselves to this point because we got lazy,
complacent.
Yep. It was everybody else's senator, everybody else's congressman. It's not mine, and it's tough. I mean,
He closes them negative comments real fucking quick.
shit over the last week. I was like, man, all hope is lost. But you pray on it, and you have to sit back and say, there is no way that they can allow this stuff to happen to this country. No matter what side of the aisle you're on, whether you believe anything or don't believe anything. When you have other countries and world leaders looking at us.
Well, to be fair, I think Jeff went on after they've made an announcement they're going to news and not intel. I don't know that. It was the clones and the aliens and stuff, and that's why he said he wasn't going on anymore. So I don't know. I don't know if you hold him to that or not.
And saying, what the hell
is going
on in the United States of America? You know that you have a problem. And there's a big...
I like to argue more than about anything else in the world, so I'm all for it.
And I've said this since day one.
Ask Mariah. She hates it.
Politicians, including Donald Trump, Mike Flynn, any of them, have sold us a bill of goods that they can't cash, try their asses for treason. And I strongly believe that because I put country before anything else.
Absolutely.
And you have to, God, country, it goes down from there. But I get it.
I believe we got bad people on both sides, Republican and Democrat.
Absolutely.
These rhinos.
I think we got more people bad on the Republican side than we do because they low down.
The rhino.
And this is what I can't wrap my head around. And I'm sure there's a lot of people that can't wrap their head around it either. You have all these planes.
That's true.
That are bringing all these kids up from the South.
Yep.
How
hold on, let me stop you there. Not one single one came from Mexico. These are coming from South America. These are not Mexican people.
Easy now. Not one single one. Say stuff like the vast majority or the majority.
That are coming across the border. Not one single Mexican come across the border when I was there. Now, but when I don't want to interrupt you, but I want to tell you what I seen. I was in a place that I call the decoy. That's where they send the little families across. That's where they send people from Africa, people from Saudi Arabia, and all these places that have never been here before. So therefore, they don't have a record. All right. So they get to come across the border, and what they do is they basically drop them across the river, and they came over here, and they automatically, they don't put no handcuffs on them. They put armbands on them, little paper armband like you go in a nightclub. And then you go get processed, and then you tell them where you want to go. Now, that is a decoy. Now, what Jeff's about to tell you about, show him that picture I sent you, Doug. The black and white
Joe?
rear camera picture.
Oh, man, you put me on the spot. I don't even know where that's at, man.
It's look in your messenger.
Oh, okay.
I'm about to train you.
All right. Let me share.
Go ahead. I'm about to learn you something, boy. Learn you something.
You about to learn me something?
Jeff, go ahead and tell them what you're about to say.
But you got all these planes coming in with all these kids, and who in the hell knows what they're doing with them? Whether sex trafficking, migrant workers. Yeah, this right here, they're being brought up by damn coyotes. Their families are paying to have them come up. They're paying. Look, I'll explain this to the viewers because a lot of people don't realize this. Every one of these damn people in this line that is coming up to this country, they owe a debt.
Yep.
They owe a debt to the coyotes.
That's right.
They are not coming up for free. They owe a debt. And guess what that debt is? That debt is whatever the damn cartels want them to do.
From a vote to a violent crime.
Yep, exactly. And this is what pisses me off.
What's that?
Where in the hell is the Joint Chiefs of Staff? Okay, where I'm gonna call all 5 of them out. This country is being invaded. You have a constitutional obligation to the American people. I don't give a shit who's sitting in the White House, who's sitting in the Pentagon.
Yeah, I'm going to have to train you here. Honestly, like, I would rather Bonafide come on and fix Doug's show. I don't know why he hasn't fixed Brad's show. Brad's still spreading a bunch of false fucking bullshit. But it's better. Honestly, it's better to have news. If Doug covered news and how upset it made him, I don't have nothing to say to Doug. The problem is he spent all this time on birth certificates, social security cards, and aliens, and meat suits, and clones, and this, and Gitmo, and trials, and this. And he's got to say something. You can't just be like, I'm a news channel. I don't know what you're talking about. Bullshit.
You have a constitutional obligation. When the country collapses and the civilian leadership has failed, you have a...
If Doug come on and shared the news like Fox News and talked about how pissed off he was and how we needed to pray and how it wouldn't be like this if we still had Donald Trump, I ain't got a fucking thing to say to him. If he's telling people the hotline to call in for your birth certificate reward, that's when I got something to say.
Constitutional obligation to step up. And there ain't a damn one of you stepping up.
Well, look at that one. Look at that one 4-star general was talking about. There's nothing wrong with breeding Milley. There's nothing wrong with communism. Well, you don't need to be on the Joint Chiefs of Staff. He's probably already been arrested.
Well, come on.
They should have ripped his uniform off right there. Don't you agree?
Somebody didn't say there's nothing wrong with communism.
Well, the person playing president is not going to do anything. He's just there for show and tell.
This is what scares me, Doug and Bonafide. And you and I have had this discussion many times. How long is the American people going to take this garbage before they turn on who they believe their savior is, which is Donald Trump? Because I don't think the American people are going to allow this to go on much longer. The ones who actually give two shits.
Yep.
I think Bonafide could probably speak, Jeff, to they're ready. The militia's ready to roll down there in Texas. They are organized and ready to roll.
In the little county that I was in, and from what
which is even a less of a reason to believe Trump is still in charge and Joe Biden's fake, like you just said, Doug. We're on the verge of a fucking civil war. Not a revolution like we need, a civil war.
Understand now they're making moves.
Oh, don't worry, that's a fake president. Donald Trump's still in charge, and when the militia acts and fucking slaughters a bunch of people at the border, and that gives them a reason to come up and fucking institute mandatory gun control, and they start fucking kicking in doors and shit. Trump's still in control. Don't worry, you'll get him back when Trump comes back. Okay.
Buddy that was there with me, he's going back there today or tomorrow. They're going to start. This particular sheriff, his name is Brad Cole. Brad Cole.
Whole fucking country is sad as fuck.
Telling you appreciate what he's doing. That'd be
YouTube
nice.
channel got fucking struck down over these fucking pieces of shit.
They've only got 16 miles. His county's only got 16 miles. So they've got a plan. The question is, you got to understand, there's only 3,600 people in his county. So therefore, they don't have a whole lot of money. So they're having to wait on Abbott to send the money. And then if
that's exactly right. They'll just sit on their ass. They think Trump's in charge, and it's only half their fault. They didn't come up with this idea on their own. These motherfuckers have been feeding it to them every day. Just like I said, now we're really concerned about the border. 2 weeks ago, you told us it was fake. The military was down there. That it was a movie. Don't forget, it's a movie, guys. Don't get upset about the border. Don't be freaking out. It's a movie. It's a movie. They just trying to wake some people up. That's all they're trying to do. Yeah, okay. Now we're in a panic.
A fob.
If me and you were on a fucking cruise ship and our fucking room on the 5th floor from the water line starts filling up with fucking water and it's just gushing in the fucking window, and I say, don't worry, this is a drill, this is a reenactment. They're just trying to get some people on the boat to see what they would do. This is an emergency drill just to see how people react. And I wait until we got 2 inches of air left to breathe, and I say, oh shit, this isn't a drill, this is real. Maybe we should panic. And you're like, what the fuck? We had time to evacuate. We could have got out of here. We could have went up the stairs. We could have got to the top of the ship. We could have done something. Now we're going to drown in this fucking room. And I'm like, hey, man, I'm just telling you, it's a real deal. I'm not like those guys who would tell you it's a drill and that we shouldn't panic and that we should just hang out. I'm not like those guys. I'm telling you it's real. You'd be like, oh, okay, thanks for looking out for me.
And
the fuck out of here.
These illegals in it, and then ship them back. Now, if y'all recall, do y'all remember when Donald Trump tried to go to Portland and they kept on turning him down, and he tried to go to Chicago, they kept on turning him down.
Yep.
And like now, if Donald Trump was in office right now and Texas asked for help, they would go. Now they're asking for help from Biden, and this is what's happening. So you got to understand, the federal government cannot come in unless they're asked, unless they get permission to go in. All right.
Right.
So what they're doing now is the Texas has got $1 billion to try to do their own deal. Now the question is this going to line Rhino's pockets and nothing happen, or are they going to release this money and let it really happen? And I told this sheriff, I said, if somebody will just draw the line in the sand,
yep,
the Patriots will come running.
Yep.
And I'm gonna tell you, I'm gonna try to look him up. That county, that sheriff, and them guys, they need your support. They need the prayers. They need prayers.
Yeah, I don't think they've ever seen us at a call-in show, Mullet. You were here when we used to call everybody else's show. You guys remember?
They've got 1 ambulance and 6 police officers in this whole area.
They've never seen the way we work the phones, have they, Mullet?
Because basically we don't know who's watching, but they are getting together as we speak and putting a plan together in that one county. But the problem is you got to basically get the money from the devil. And what I mean by that is the rhinos are in control of the money. So they're not going to let you have the money if they know you're going to go against their agenda. That's as simple as I can put it.
No, they never did the video together.
Yep, it's the root of all evil. It is.
Yep.
And this is what I don't understand.
I don't think they're as close as they claim to be either, because they could easily do a fucking 5-minute video together saying, we're not mad, we love each other.
If Greg Abbott is such a damn great governor, now, why do you not have DPS sitting at the damn airport watching who's getting on and off these damn airplanes? That's your state, sir. That's the citizens of Texas' state. So either you're incompetent or you're on the take.
Here's what I seen yesterday. Bonafide sent me a link to a guy that went live, and he was at one of the airports. I don't know where it was in our country. He said, and this happens 2 and 3 times a day. They're at a military airport. The plane lands, and all the people getting off it are males from another country that they're not even coming across the border anymore. They're flying them in on military bases and letting them get on buses and then shipping them out on the buses.
Yeah.
And they're not going through any kind of TSA,
nope.
Period.
Nope, nothing at all.
All right, Jeff, I want you to tell me this. I'm about to send some pictures. Stand by, man. I'm about to send some pictures.
Okay.
I got them here. I know. Did I send you the pictures of the ankle bracelets, Doug?
Yes, sir. But I don't know if I can go back that far and find them all. When Bonafide was at the airport, or was it Brad? Took pictures.
It was John Dice is a friend of mine. I got them right here. I'm gonna send you a few of them. See if you can post them 3 pictures right there.
All right, hold on.
Hey, Jeff, listen to this. All right, in the San Antonio airport, it splits. So the people that's going to go right and the people that's going to go to the east side and the west side. All right.
Right.
All right. So I was going
like what they're covering right now. I don't have anything to say. There is shit going on at the border and blah blah blah. But when you start mixing in, Trump, the fake president, why doesn't the real fucking president do something? You have no excuse now. It was to wake people up. Now it's a crisis. Why is no one doing it? If the fake president isn't doing it, why isn't the real president doing it? You can't play both sides of the same fence.
he had these. Go the other way, Doug. He was standing on the side, and these people, and I'm talking about. He just got a few pictures that was not obvious, but you'll notice these people got ankle bracelets on.
Right.
All right, now I know about ankle bracelets.
You had one.
No, I never had one. That was before, I got right before that happened. But I got a lot of guys that I helped that got out of jail that basically that ankle bracelet will let them know it's better than a phone. It'll let them know exactly where you at. So,
yep.
So I took. He sent me the pictures. I sent them to the sheriff. All right. So I asked the sheriff. I said, "Is this a Texas thing or what? What can it be?" And he had never seen it before. Basically, if you got an ankle bracelet on, you ain't allowed to leave your house or you ain't allowed to leave your county or whatever case. Right. These ankle bracelets are going on people that are leaving and going towards Chicago. So he said it is not a state deal, so it has to be a federal deal or ICE that is doing it.
Yep. So
and they was kids with them on.
Right. So, I mean, this should make people furious. I'll put it to you like this, Bonafide. You got businesses in this country.
Yep.
That have been screwed over because somebody in their infinite wisdom decided that they were going to come up with some bullshit pandemic. Somebody in their infinite wisdom decided that they were screwed over because somebody in their infinite wisdom decided.
I think the phrase is infinite wisdom. And I'm pretty sure he just said impotent wisdom. Oh, listen to this. You tell me.
Somebody in their infinite wisdom decided that they were going to come up with.
Did he say impotent? Like your dick don't work?
Some bullshit pandemic. Fudge the numbers. People have killed themselves, lost their businesses, in the process of losing their business. I mean, I'm not in the process of losing my business, but I've called my senator 4 times. How in the hell can the SBA be out there bragging about all this damn money that they got? And you have businesses that have had applications in for 3 to 4 months to get relief. And the SBA is saying the IRS will not send us transcripts of your tax return. So I called my damn senator 3 times, and the one 4 times. Democrat I never heard back from. The Republican I heard back from. And they said they cannot get a hold of anybody at the IRS.
I do believe this. I still haven't got my tax return. Sorry, I was muted for a second. He said impotent wisdom, which was strange, but I do believe this because I haven't got my tax return, and a lot of people that need help, loan support, government support. Like if I was trying to buy a house right now, they would want my most recent tax return, and I'm going to be trying to buy a house soon, or I got to do something. They want your tax return, and they're not sending this shit in. Like you can't get it. It's held up. I still haven't got mine. Like that's fucking bullshit. They're actually having hearings with the IRS right now on Capitol Hill, and there's a bunch of people fucking complaining. Like for some reason, there's like a month and a half of people who did tax returns that they just fucking held them back. People after and people before got their money or at least got their return or paid what they owed or whatever. Everybody else got fucked. Impotent wisdom.
Somebody in that damn Capitol building needs to step up on the House floor and explain how they can't get a hold of anybody. Because the whole whooping cough, that train's left the station.
Yep.
The American people are not going to buy it no longer. It's done with. But in the meantime, they are cavitating this country. And the only way that we're going to get any of this back is somebody's got to stand up, and it's got to be the American people. Because I'm sad to say it, Donald Trump is not our damn savior.
That's exactly right.
Don't say no, Doug. God damn it. Doug spent months and months and months and months telling you We just got to wake up 81%, 75%, 33%, 17%. Donald Trump. This is all a movie, folks. They're just trying to wake up the left. Blah, blah, blah. This is what I've been saying, dumbass. You can't just take my platform and then say, oh, well, at least I wasn't spreading that bad intel.
Donald Trump could die tomorrow. What are we going to do then?
Exactly.
Everybody's leaning on that hope for Donald. What if Donald died? You know, right? Hey, listen, I want to talk to somebody named Pamela Clark. She's asking about what to do on the deal with how can she get involved. All right. Pam.
He stole my platform and then calls me out.
Pamela, go to the Helen Lee, get in touch with her. It don't matter where you live. I don't care if you live in Chicago. What you got to do is get you a Patriot group together. You've got friends, like-minded friends, and you can even have
probably got me a fucking ban. God damn it.
Tweeters or
Instagram.
Yeah, Telegram. What you got to do is invite people, and then you get on here. I'm gonna give you an example. I'm a quick thinker. You tell everybody on this chat right here. Say I'm a Patriot and I'm from Charlotte, North Carolina. Does anybody want to join? Contact me. All right, this right here is a way to do it. If you're a Patriot and you want to do it, y'all can do it right now if you want to. I'm a Patriot and I want to join a group and get you a group together. And basically what you do is you stalk your local representatives. You find out. I don't care if they the dog catcher.
But don't. I would not use the word stalk. That's literally a crime. I wouldn't say you stalk them. Like, you stay on top of them. You stick with them. Like white on rice. You figure out where they're going. You figure out where they at. But you don't say you stalk them. That might have been a little too quick of thinking.
You stalk them and see if they're going to have any of these town meetings. And you go there and you do just like Lynn Wood did. But see,
twice.
When you get 30, 40 people at these meetings, they ain't going to put up with you calling these meetings off. Find the local patriots. So post it right here. I want everybody here. If you want to do that, you want to get involved tonight, go ahead and do it. You know, put your Facebook page up there. We'll do it every night. Every night.
You could announce you started your own Telegram group and you live in Charlotte, North Carolina, and you want to know if other patriots want to get involved and join your group. We'll be glad to share it right here and in my Telegram group to get people together to start attending these meetings. And we'll tell you how to get in touch with that lady so you can start attending these meetings and asking the questions just like Linwood did at that meeting and expose these rhinos.
Yep. I'm going to say 95% rhinos out there. And until we replace these rhinos with patriots, we're not going to see this country back the way it was when we was kids, period. Because they have another agenda.
And you know what? The people who aren't going to do anything, they're going to be the first ones that are going to be bitching when these people show up in their towns, in their villages, whatever, can't speak a damn word of English, and they start taking the resources in your tax dollars from you and your kids, and then the light bulb's going to go on and say, wow, how did we get here? And that's the truth. Hey, I served this country, got screwed up fighting for this country. But I'll tell you what, I believe in everybody's legal right to come here, not to have 6, 12 people to sit in a room somewhere and pay a charter company to fly all these people into this country. You do not see any other country doing this anywhere in the world.
Absolutely not.
Hey, that's one thing I want to cover is a deal. I mean, I can't say it enough. I cannot say it enough for you to get involved. I see when I got started, I didn't even know who my local representative was, didn't know what their job was. I didn't even know what a delegate was.
Right.
And Chad, the guy that we had on that helped Flynn that time in Green, he told me that there's areas in America that basically don't have anybody to run that area.
We'll call Jeff to interpret for us.
Don't have delegates for that town. And your town may be one. And then you can put a whole bunch of patriots in there, and then y'all start making these numbers work. You know, you just got to find out. I'll get more information. I got a lot of people that can do a lot more investigating than I can. But, there's one thing I want to tell you. And I am far from a racist, I promise you. And I hate to say I have to say that.
Right.
But if you don't believe we're being invaded, the next time you're in the city, do a 360 around you and see what color people are. Where they come. I'm talking about from other countries. You understand? I'm not talking about black people. I'm talking about next time you're in a big restaurant, look around. And these are people that maybe come here legally and I had no problem with it. Especially
that's not. So that's not a good way to put that. That's not a good way to put that at all. That sounds extremely fucking racist. And I'm not trying to be like some whiny liberal, blah, blah, blah. Just because someone is fucking brown or whatever doesn't mean that they're an illegal immigrant who stuck through here and is part of an invasion. Okay? Like,
especially in the big cities.
That's like saying I don't promote violence, but next time you're in a crowded restaurant, how about you just walk up and punch 4 people in the face? I don't want any violence to happen. That's not a good way to I mean, like, you could be the only white person in a restaurant full of brown people and they're all fucking born here. That doesn't mean it's part of an invasion.
In the big cities like San Antonio and this next time you're in the airport, look around. Look at how many.
And I've been to Mission, Texas, where we were working on a plant and they was taking pop shots at us from across the border. You could hear them hitting the turbine, ting, ting. And then you go into the local town in McDonald's and they don't even have an English menu. Like, I understand what he's trying to say, I think, but I don't know if that was the greatest way to put that.
People that you feel like was born here. Just look around and you'll start seeing what we're talking about. You know.
And you know the sad part about this is the ones who came here legally, and maybe even some of the ones that came here illegally, guess what? They want to work.
Yep.
Because some of the crap holes that they came from, they look at this place and they're like, yeah, this is it. But the American people have never experienced. I mean, I've been all over the world. I've been to some garbage places where, you know, you live in a damn mud hut. But
yep,
it's sad to say, but I have a lot of respect for the ones who did everything legally.
Yep.
And wanted to come here and find out what the American dream is than I do for some of my own countrymen.
Yep.
And that's a sad state of affairs.
I mean, be honest. I mean, the Hispanic Mexican guys,
perfect. Work their ass off.
They work their asses off. They work their asses off. And I have no problem. I've got good friends that have families over here. Let me tell you about this deal right here. There's a friend of mine that owns a body shop here, and he was born here, but his family's from Mexico. Now, this is what really irks me is he got a girl that he fell in love with.
No one said anything about the illegals. He just said, see how many brown people are in a restaurant. That's not illegals. Like, yeah, if he would have said, next time you're in a restaurant, do a detailed survey and see how many people are there illegally. And if it's more than 4 or 5, then we're being invaded. But if he just says, look how many brown people are there. Hell, like in the summer, I pass as a Mexican. Like I would get caught up in his counting.
In Mexico, that is in his parents' hometown. So he wants to bring her over here and give her a better life. And it costs $700 to try. Each time you try to become American or come over here, and basically they open up a book, and if your name ain't in it, you just lost your $700.
Wow.
Now you can pay $5,000 to a coyote, $5 to $11,000. Young, pretty girl. Would you send her over here with coyotes and her having to be alone with the coyotes?
I mean, you would have to assume that fact. That's not what he said. He just said, look around you and see what color they are. I'm not talking about black people.
Absolutely crazy. Y'all listen to this now. His name is Louis. He's got a passport. His girlfriend in Mexico has a passport. He can go to.
It's pretty bad in border towns. From what I can tell, last time I was at the border was years ago, maybe 4 years ago when I was still working out on the road. But it's pretty bad in border towns, or hell, anywhere in a couple 100 miles of the border. Probably not even. I shouldn't even said border towns. Within a few 100 miles of the border is pretty bad.
Mexico, and they go anywhere in the world, but she can't come here. She can't even come here to visit. Now, what's so bad about that is they have tried
back. I need intel
over again to do it the right way, and then finally you just want to say, well, I wouldn't send them over here with coyotes, period, especially a young, pretty girl.
Right.
But
oh yeah, that's there's no way I would. I mean, like, I don't know what I would do if I like was in Mexico starving to death, especially if I had kids. I don't know what I'd do.
And what's so bad about it is
it's crazy.
The cartel is the one controlling the book. You understand? They know that if they turn them down enough, that they're gonna pay that $11,000.
They don't need to let Doug talk. They're finally fixing his show. Yep. This show, I ain't got nothing wrong with this show. Oh, well, except for the guy playing president, the guy who's not really the president, or the real president. Neither one of them's doing shit. Which one's the real one? They're both fake then. If that's the route we're going to take.
I've heard the good stories and the bad. you know, and they ain't many good ones. Basically, there's no way to legally do it right now. He said what they do is they let just enough through to say they're legit, that they're, you know, but all the people get.
If they kick Doug off the show, they'd have a news channel here.
Down. They don't even go to the what is it called? I think it's the embassy. There's a building over there that they go to, but to try to come over here and visit.
Right.
So anyway, that's a friend of mine's story, and he loves that girl. He makes good money, and he has to go back and forth because they won't let her come here. And if there was anything I could do, I'd bring her because I know good and well she's going to work. She's a dental hygienist and makes less money than you'd make at McDonald's here. These people making $25, $30 a month over there. So we may have it tough here, but we ain't got it looking like that. You know, at least we do have minimum wage, and we got, you know, where people can make a living.
That's it, guys. Hey, listen, guys, we're going to have to wrap it up because I'm leaving at daybreak, and it's like 11 o'clock now. But this has been a great show.
Hey, Doug, how many hours you got coming down here?
It's 710 miles, so it's probably a little over 10 hours. Plus, I got to stop and, you know, refuel.
Yeah.
So I'll probably be there around 3 o'clock in the afternoon, something like that.
All right, listen, here's what I'm going to do is I'm going to get up first thing in the morning, and I'm going to go to Charleston and see my grandbaby.
Okay.
And that's only 3 hours away.
Uh-huh.
I'm going to spend a couple hours with him, then I'll be back here. But I'll send you the address. I got employees here to take care of you.
Okay, that's no problem at all, buddy. I just want to get on the road early as I can. Jeff B, thanks for coming on, bud. We got to take this country back. One person, one county, one state, one person at a time. Everybody, listen, here's what Brad said in the speech last night, and it was so powerful. You know, that God gave everybody a talent. It doesn't matter what it is. Maybe
I honestly haven't watched Brad's show. If they're fixing Brad's show too, that'd be great. I mean, I got nothing wrong with conservative-based news channels. It's everything else that gets me. Or playing it off like you weren't part of the problem 2 weeks ago.
He gave me the talent to speak. He sure didn't give me the talent to spell. I can tell you that. But I can tell you he gave me the ability to speak. Everybody's good at something. Find out what you're good at to help our country get back on its feet. Because
I don't think he gave you the ability to speak.
And we are really hurting. And
I think he gave you the ability to sign up for as many multi-level marketing companies as you could find.
People to fight for this country like never, ever before. And I appreciate all Froganites. I appreciate that we turned the chat back on.
Bonafide owns businesses, and he's got money. The first time he came on, he was like, I own this business, and like Antifa tried to shut him down or some shit because he said something or did something. Oh, he posted on Facebook some shit about black people or something. It wasn't Antifa. It was what do they call the movement that's everywhere? Damn it, I can't even think of it. The hands up, don't shoot. What's it called? I don't know. The new black movement. Anyways, they tried to shut him down. And BLM. Thank you. I don't know why I couldn't remember fucking BLM. Anyways, they tried to shut him down. So when the first time he come on, it was almost like he was going over the top saying, you understand this, Facebook? I don't own no more business, okay? Okay? My wife, well, let's just say I don't own no more business. He basically what he did is I guess he put his businesses in his wife's name or something, but he still owns them. And one of them's like a battery service, one of them's a storage service, one of them's something else. But yeah, he owns a couple businesses.
And we're going to talk to people. If they want to come on the show, let's start next week. They want to call in and they want to talk about, they have solutions.
He's driving both his Priuses.
Country back as opposed to National Enquirer intel. Please let us know. And if you got National Enquirer intel, show us how you're backing up that information because we sure like to know about that too.
He wears one like a t-shirt and one of them like a pair of pants and goes down the road like a semi.
What you got to ask, Jeff? Did you get any intel this week?
No.
Yeah.
Look, there's just so much. We'll call it like this: anomalies.
Right.
Yeah. Here's my biggest thing, and I didn't even realize.
I don't mind anybody reporting anomalies. There's anomalies happen all the time. That's completely fine.
Till this morning. So this building that fell in Florida, right? Mysteriously, whether it was sand, whatever.
We figured that out.
Why isn't Congress calling in the FBI? Because wasn't that building demolished this morning or yesterday? They blew it up. They collapsed it, right? That's a damn crime scene.
You're exactly right.
Why is Congress not calling in the FBI and ATF into the halls of Congress? Why was a crime scene destroyed?
Hey, listen, we're going to talk about that tomorrow night. Jeff, I want to get on that because there's plenty of them. There was a serial killer that killed 6 people in my hometown 5 miles from here. And that crime scene in this county stayed with an officer on it for over 2 years. Now, let's go in South Carolina. You remember the guy that murdered the folks in the church down in Charleston?
Yeah.
Yes.
They had church the next Sunday. They had the church 2 or 3 days later. I said, that is absolutely crazy.
Right.
We had a supposed crime scene at the Capitol building, and Congress went back in session 8 hours later.
Yep.
Not one FBI
These
jacket
are
on the
false
ground.
flags. These are cover-ups.
False
These are
flag.
cover-ups.
Yep.
Anyways, guys, we got to wrap it. Listen,
Right.
I appreciate all the Frogginites in the chat. You know, this is God would want us all to come together because we know 2 makes 11. When we have thousands of people in the chat, we love you guys, and we appreciate each and every one of you. We look forward to expanding our audience out with people that are ready to do something to
He's
fight.
trying to shut him down. He's talking over him.
We'll see you tomorrow night. Have a
God
great
bless
night.
all y'all.
Good night. Thanks, Jeff.
Yep.
I was under the impression they were pressured for time because there's a hurricane approaching. They're also inspecting all the buildings in the area, all the buildings in that town. They've got other towns freaking out, inspecting all their fucking buildings and shit. But I don't know. I didn't look that up. I was just under that impression. I thought I heard it in passing on the news or something. Look, if Doug don't even have to apologize. I'll let it slip. But he can keep pretending like he was never an intel channel. That's fine. If Doug goes to news with a conservative spin, he's no different than fucking Fox News. I ain't got a thing to say to him. Hope he does well. If Doug keeps fucking putting out all this other bullshit about the fake president, it's a movie, we got to wake people up, blah, 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 he's still fucking part of the problem he was just bitching about. He stole my platform. It was very strange that the last show he did, all of a sudden he comes out and says some shit about, oh, we got to get involved locally. You need to get involved with these. You need to contact your mayor and your board of elections. You can get involved with the school boards. You need blah, blah, blah. And that, just like General Flynn told us. Yeah, General Flynn said that a year and a fucking half ago. I've said that every night for the past fucking 3 months. Like, get the fuck out of here. You ain't going to steal my platform and then act like I'm doing something to you, motherfucker. You are the one spreading the fake news and shit. Stay on the news. Stay out of the fucking intel. Stay out of the fake shit. I ain't got nothing to say to you. But you ain't going to call me out like that. We'll settle that a different way. Anyways, guys, thank you for coming in. Thank you for the donations. I'm sorry I got kicked off my channel. I hope I get it back, man. I don't know. I'm already fucking depressed over that shit. It was finally going good for once. But I appreciate those that came over. Please share this channel because there's a pretty good chance they already fucking denied my appeal almost instantly. When I sent it in while we was finishing up the show, they already fucking denied that shit. I don't fucking know. It fucking pisses me off, dude. Like, the original show is up, but the scripted satire I did about it is down for inciting violence. I don't fucking get it. Anyways, guys, I'm out here for the night. We'll see you on the next one. The other channel's down for 2 weeks. If that stands, if they don't fucking change something, this is bullshit. But we'll see what happens. Thank you for tuning in tonight. Thank you for the tips. Thank you for the birthday wishes and the presents and everything else you guys did. I really, really, really appreciate it. Shout out to Groiper and Bucka and Denise and Beverly and all the people who sent donations for Liam and made things. And J. Hyde Ashbury even made Ollie something last week. Ollie where he's like, he's special needs. He doesn't necessarily understand like birthdays, so we got to at least get him something to keep him occupied to where, you know, he doesn't freak out. So thank you for that. Thank you guys for everything. I appreciate it. We're going to see you on the next one. We'll have some pre-recorded videos, and I guess they'll go up here. I can't upload. I can't go live. I can't do shit for 2 weeks over there. And that motherfucker stays on there till October. So, I don't know. We'll see you guys on the next one. Have a good night.
Piss them off, it's about to get lit. Get the place in the best, you know that stage is set. You better buckle up, cause you ain't seen none yet. Here we go, I think I started some shit. Piss them off, it's about to get lit. Get the place in the best, you know that stage is set. You better buckle up, cause you ain't seen none yet. Round 3. Down goes Nino. Please say it isn't so. Got him backed up on the ropes, trying to ram it down his throat. Now things are getting rocking. He was doing so well. It's all over. Hands on his shoulders, they ringing his bell. You got Frog News Network doing no damn research. They be working copy on Cox that came first. 9th inning, second string, and they acting like they know hitters. Assholes throwing bullshit, sending runs to the shitter. All this nonsense on my conscience, it's hard to sleep at night. Who the fuck is in my window with this time of the night? These parasites, these leeches, with all their secret meetings, teaching all you fucking cretins about baby eating heathens. Believing in reason with no meaning is bullshit. Will Bird motherfuckers out here busting the grifts. Here we go, I think I started some shit. Piss them off, it's about to get lit. Get the place in the bets, you know that stage is set. You better buckle up, cause you ain't seen none yet. Here we go, I think I started some shit. Piss them off, it's about to get lit. Get the place in the bets, you know that stage is set. You better buckle up, cause you ain't seen none yet.
You don't have those guts because you're a pussy. You're a pussy wearing aviator glasses in your mother's basement. And I won't even give out your dime store handle because that's really pathetic. But I can tell you this about if this douchebag happens to see this particular show, you don't have the forking balls to call out the people on this planet by name and tell them exactly who they are and tell them the rest of the world who they are. You don't have the forking balls. You don't have the balls.
Okay, Scott. Here we go, I think I started some shit. Piss them off, it's about to get lit. Get the place in the bets, you know that stage is set. You better buckle up, cause you ain't seen none yet. Here we go, I think I started some shit. Piss them off, it's about to get lit. Get the place in the bets, you know that stage is set. You better buckle up, cause you ain't seen none yet. And they say that I'm a lunatic. Well, listen, bitch, I came equipped with a quick wit and a sixth sense for the stupid shit. Where my true believer? Y'all need Jesus. Praise the Lord, head to the extreme. All these false fucking prophets who profit off of gossip. Worshipping drums, cocking, begging for a throat deposit. Swinging fucking meat hammers like fool in a thong. He's strapped to the shaft, eating his chest like he's King Kong. Starving for attention, I'ma make your gut burst. I'll be your huckleberry, I can quench that thirst. Baby eating lizard people, alien sex. What's next? Trump in a dress, fucking Flynn on his desk. A retard in a vest, climbing up 5G towers. Cause you told him if he did, he'd get fucking superpowers. Here we go, I think I started some shit. Piss them off, it's about to get lit. Get the place in the bets, you know that stage is set. You better buckle up, cause you ain't seen none yet. Here we go, I think I started some shit. Piss them off, it's about to get lit. Get the place in the bets, you know that stage is set. You better buckle up, cause you ain't seen none yet. I used to find clues too when I was high on shrooms. I found myself a tunnel that led to Jason Q's bedroom. Open his closet, I found some of his meat rockets. I strapped them to my shoes and then I flew through the roof. I found myself in orbit strapped to an F-16. High on amphetamine with Trump in between. Put on a light coat of baby oil and saluted the troops. He tapped me on the shoulder and said, "This is gonna be it." Whoa, wait. Stop. What? I'll get my files. Wait, what are you doing? It's it. Stop. Hold on. Fucking stop. Dude, come on. Seriously. This is my bombs and alcohol. Oh, give me a... Oh, my God. Damn it. Here we go, I think I started some shit. Piss them off, it's about to get lit. Get the place in the bets, you know that stage is set. You better buckle up, cause you ain't seen none yet. Here we go, I think I started some shit. Piss them off, it's about to get lit. Get the place in the bets, you know that stage is set. You better buckle up, cause you ain't seen none yet. Round 3. Down goes Nino. Please say it isn't so. Got him backed up on the ropes, trying to ram it down his throat. Now things are getting rocking. He was doing so well. It's all over. Hands on his shoulders, they ringing his bell. You got Frog News Network doing no damn research. They rework and copy on cocks that came first. 9th inning, second string, and they acting like they know hitters. Assholes throwing bullshit shit and runs to the shitter. All this nonsense on my conscience, it's hard to sleep at night. Who the fuck is in my window with this time of the night? These parasites, these leeches, with all their secret meetings, teaching all you fucking cretins about baby eating heathens. Believing in reason with no meaning is bullshit. Will Bird motherfuckers out here busting the grifts. Here we go, I think I started some shit. Piss them off, it's about to get lit. Get the place in the bets, you know that stage is set. You better buckle up, cause you ain't seen none yet. Here we go, I think I started some shit. Piss them off, it's about to get lit. Get the place in the bets, you know that stage is set. You better buckle up, cause you ain't seen none yet.
You don't have those guts because you're a pussy. You're a pussy wearing aviator glasses in your mother's basement. And I won't even give out your dime store handle because that's really pathetic.